Good evening and welcome to Byju's Exam Prep. Am I audible and visible? Good evening, everyone. Am I audible and visible? Thank you, Anushka, Mesha. Good evening, everyone. Megha, Brajneet. Let some more people join in and then I'll begin. Manju, good evening. Austin, Ankush. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Yeah, I'll answer your question. Bhimra, just hold on. Right. So let's begin today's session. Yesterday, I had begun with the Mughal Empire. We covered the following Mughal emperors: Babur, Humayun, and Akbar. And we have discussed Akbar in detail, the administrative changes brought about by Akbar. He was the person who laid the foundation of the Mughal administrative superstructure, the Mansabdari system. He divided the empire into provinces called subas, subdivided into districts called sarkars, and then taluks or tehsil called pargana. So that's how he divided the administration into. We have explained and discussed about the Mansabdari system, the religious policies of Akbar, his conquests, his elaborate conquests, and revenue reforms of Akbar. Now, Bhimare has a question. If Akbar was illiterate, how he wrote Din Ilahi? It is not a book to be written, Bhimare. Din Ilahi was a way of life, as Akbar put it. It was a way of life, right? Which he wanted people to follow. As I told you, the word din was added to it 80 years later. So he called it as Tawhid Ilahi, and the word din was added to that particular word 80 years later. So somebody who wanted to follow Din Ilahi or Tawhid Ilahi had to surrender four things for the cause of the emperor: his life, honor, property, and religion. And only a few people like Birbal, Faizi, Abul Fazl, they were the ones who followed the Din Ilahi, and along with Akbar, his way of life, what is known as Din Ilahi, also died along with Akbar. So this is about Akbar. No, 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 Bhimre. I never said anything like that. So you cannot use those words, Ankush. Akbar is reincarnation of Babur. I have never said anything like that. Neither do any of the textbooks say anything like that. So yeah, it's obviously not a book. Dini Lai was never a book. I never said it was a book, Bhimare, right? We'll come back here. Let's talk about Jahangir. So Jahangir or Salim, yesterday had begun with Salim or Jahangir. Let's talk about him. Um, so he was born. His original name was Salim. So his original name, his real name was Salim. Um, he was born to Akbar. He was born to Akbar and Harkabai. He was a son born to Akbar and Harkabai, right? And I told you that he grew up to be a careless, carefree, irresponsible person. Akbar wanted to discipline him. He tried many times. He also sent Abul Fazl to advise him. But then Salim got Abul Fazl murdered from Bir Singh Bundela, one of his friends called Bir Singh Bundela or Veer Singh Bundela, the prince of the Bundelas. Anyway, towards the end of Akbar's life, father and son reconciled. Salim sought the pardon of his father, and his father was magnanimous enough to pardon his son, and he nominated Salim as his successor. So Salim, once Akbar died, Salim became the emperor, and he took the title of Jahangir. Now, on the day of his coronation or accession, he issued 12 ordinances or 12 uh, rules which he wanted people in his empire to follow. He excused many taxes like Mirwahi and Tamga taxes. No, these are all toll taxes. He also introduced. He banned the manufacture of narcotics, including intoxicants. But he himself was a big drunkard. He declared Thursday and Sunday throughout the empire that no meat should be consumed on those 2 days. Thursday was the day he was coronated as emperor, and Sunday was the day which was Akbar's birthday. So every Thursday and Sunday, no meat was to be consumed in any part of the Mughal Empire. So these were part of his 12 ordinances. And those Mansabdars who had been serving under his father were asked to continue in their posts, etc. So these are some of the ordinances he introduced. Then yesterday I spoke to you about his love life. He married this girl called Meherun Nisa. So he wanted to marry her when he was still a teenage boy, but then Akbar was against this particular relationship, against this connection. But ultimately, when he became emperor, a conspiracy was hatched, and he, through that conspiracy, was able to procure Meherun Nisa, and he married her. But before marrying her, I told you yesterday, he promoted her father, so Meherun Nisa's father, Mirza Giyas Beg. He was promoted as the Wazir or Prime Minister of the Mughal Empire from Joint Diwan. So, right? And so just hold on. So Mirza Abul Hassan was promoted as Wazir of the Mughal Empire. Mirza Giyas Beg. So Mirza Giyas Beg was her father. He was promoted as Wazir or Prime Minister. And then Nur Jahan's, Meherun Nisa's brother was given the title of Mirza Abul Hassan. His name was Mirza Abul Hassan. He was given the title of Asaf Khan and made Khani-Saman, that is in charge of the royal household. I'll use, just hold on. Yeah. So Jahangir, his real name was Salim. His real name was Salim, and he took the title of Jahangir. So he marries Meherun Nisa. And he made her his chief queen. So she was given the title of Noor Jahan. She was given the title of Noor Jahan. Initially, he called her Noor Mahal, the light of the palace. Noor Mahal means the light of the palace. And later, he made her his chief queen and called her Noor Jahan, or light of the world. So from light of the palace, she became his chief queen and got the title of Noor Jahan, light of the world. Light of the world. Yeah, Sudhanshu, there was never an anarkali. Yeah, there was never an anarkali in history. You must have seen this black and white movie in the 60s. It was a very famous movie. You might have not seen it, most of you. But you ask your parents, this was a very famous movie called Mughal Azam. Mughal Azam, where, there's a story of Salim and Anarkali. And there was a famous love song also of those days, Jab Pyar Kiya To Darna Kya. So there is no truth in this particular love story of Salim and Anarkali. It was only an imaginary story written by some person, one of the lyricists in Bombay. So there is no historical truth in this story called Salim and Anarkali love story. Anyway, it was an imaginary story and made into a movie, which became a super hit. But then his real love life was this girl called Meherun Nisa. Now we'll come back here. I told you, discussing Salim's, family life is important because in the context of history. Otherwise, I would have avoided telling you all these stories because in the context of history, it is relevant and it becomes important because otherwise you will not be able to know the connections. Now, again, I'll write her father's name. Her father's name, Meherun Nisa's father's name was Mirza Giyas Beg, right? Giyas Beg, who was given the title of Itimad Uddawla. Itimad Uddawla, and he was appointed as the Wazir. Wazir means Prime Minister. So he was made the Wazir or Prime Minister of the Mughal Empire by Jahangir. Then she had a brother, Mirza Abul Hassan. Mirza Abul Hassan. He was given the title of Asaf Khan. He was given the title of Asaf Khan and appointed as Khani-Saman. Khani-Saman. that is in charge of the royal household, in charge of the royal household. Right. Uh, yeah, don't bother about that film story, Ankush. Just focus on the history part here. Now, look here. Uh, After marrying Noor Jahan, understand this. After marrying Noor Jahan, what we notice is this Jahangir neglected administration, and he did not take much interest in administration. He was very, very happy to have married, Meherun-Nisa, whom he made as a chief queen, and she became the most powerful queen one of the most powerful queens in the history of India, because her position, Nur Jahan's position, was equal to that of the emperor. So whenever there was a farman or a royal proclamation, we have the emperor's seal and signature. Along with that, you have Nur Jahan also putting her signature and seal. So her position was equal to that of the emperor. So she was the Pacha Begum. So she became the Pacha Begum, that is the most powerful queen, the chief queen, Padshah Begum. And we do not see any other Mughal queen as powerful as Nur Jahan. Now, I told you, after marrying Nur Jahan, we have Jahangir neglecting administration for a few years. He never bothered about administration. So you might wonder who ran the administration then. We have the so-called Nur Jahan's junta, which ran the administration. Understand this? Nur Jahan's junta. What is this Nur Jahan's junta? Nur Jahan's junta, which ran the administration for some time. So this has been called Nur Jahan's junta. So this Nur Jahan's junta consisted of the following people. Nur Jahan's father, I'll write NJ in short for Nur Jahan, right? I'll write NJ in short for Nur Jahan. So Nur Jahan's father, that is Itimaduddaulah or Mirza Ghiyas Beg. Number two, Nur Jahan's brother, Asaf Khan, Nur Jahan's brother. Then number three, Nur Jahan herself. And number four, Khurram. Khurram, another son of Jahangir from another wife. Khurram was the son of Jodhabai. So Jagat Gosain, I'm sorry, he was a wife of he was the son of Jagat Gosain. So Jahangir married a Jodhpur queen, a Jodhpur princess rather. Her name was Jagat Gosain. Jagat Gosain. And the son of Jagat Gosain was this Khurram, who later became famous as Shah Jahan. Khurram became Shah Jahan later. I doubt me, all of you, can you please raise your hands? This is called Nur Jahan's junta, which ran the administration for a few years. It consisted of Nur Jahan, Nur Jahan's father, Nur Jahan's brother, and Khurram. Okay? Did you understand? Brother Garima, I've told you, even yesterday I told you this. Mirza Abul Hasan was the brother of Nur Jahan, who was given the title of Asaf Khan. Can you raise your hands? This is called Nur Jahan's junta. Khurram, who later became Shah Jahan. Okay, now look here. Now, Jahangir totally had four children. Understand this? He had four sons. Jahangir had four sons. So please understand this. I'll be writing here. So who are the four sons of Jahangir? We have Khusru, Parvez. These are the four surviving sons. Khusru, Parvez, Khurram, and Shahryar. Khusru, Parvez, Khurram, and Shahryar. Right? Yes. Bimre. Jagat Gosain was from Jodhpur. She was the princess of Jodhpur. Okay. So these are the four sons of Jahangir. Khusru, Parvez, Khurram, and Shahryar. Now look here. Yesterday I told you the story, the background of Meherun-Nisa, Nur Jahan. Meherun-Nisa had been married to one person earlier. Before she married the Emperor Jahangir, she had been married to one person called Sher Afghan. Do you remember yesterday's class? Right? So I'll just write here. So Nur Jahan's first husband. Who was her first husband? Sher Afghan. Sher Afghan was her first husband. And from Sher Afghan, Nur Jahan had got a daughter. Remember, what was the name of the daughter? The name of the daughter was Ladli Begum. Ladli Begum. Now, yeah, Brajneet, very good. Now look here. Now, this junta ran beautifully for a few years. Nur Jahan, Nur Jahan's father, brother, Khurram, running the administration of the Mughal Empire very efficiently, very effectively. But then the unity of the junta broke up. After some time, the unity, the cooperation, the understanding amongst the junta members broke up. You know why it broke up? This is what is known as Mughal politics. Understand this, family politics. Now, Nur Jahan, when she became the Pacha Begum, the chief queen, decided to get her daughter from her first husband married to Shahryar. So look here on your screen. I'm putting it in one page so that you can understand the connection. Ladli Begum was given in marriage to Shahryar. Okay, Ladli Begum was given in marriage to Shahryar by Nur Jahan. Now, Khurram became very, he became very insecure. Why did he become insecure? Because tomorrow, Nur Jahan would want her son-in-law, Shahryar, to succeed Jahangir to the throne. She will want her son-in-law to succeed Jahangir, her husband, to the throne, not Khurram. So Khurram became very insecure. Khurram became very insecure. Now look here. This, who was Nur Jahan's brother? Hello, all of you. Who was Nur Jahan's brother? Mirza Abul Hassan, isn't it? So I have written, sorry, Mirza Abul Hassan. So this Mirza Abul Hassan had a beautiful daughter. Understand this. Mirza Abul Hassan, the brother of Nur Jahan, had a beautiful daughter. Her name was Arjumand Banu Begum. Arjumand Banu Begum. And this Arjumand Banu Begum, the daughter of Asaf Khan, that is Nur Jahan's brother, was given in marriage to Khurram, right? Was given in marriage to Khurram. So here, Khurram marries Arjumand Banu Begum. And this Arjumand Banu Begum is none other than the later day Mumtaz Mahal. She later became Mumtaz Mahal, the chief queen of Khurram or Shah Jahan, on whose grave we have the Taj Mahal built. So she is the daughter of Asaf Khan, the brother of Nur Jahan. Hello, are you there with me? Now look here. Have you understood the connection here? So Nur Jahan got her daughter from her first husband, married to Shahryar, while Khurram marries Asaf Khan's daughter, Nur Jahan's brother's daughter, that is Arjuman Banu Begum. Now look here. This is the time when the Persians attacked Kandahar, 1622. Understand this, 1622 or so, we have the Persians attacking Kandahar and conquering Kandahar from the Mughals. They conquered Kandahar. You remember yesterday's class, Akbar had spent 12 long years on the borders to see that Kandahar remains within the Mughal Empire. He did not want Abdullah Khan Uzbek to conquer Kandahar from the Mughals, because otherwise it will make the Mughal Empire vulnerable to outside attacks. So Kandahar had remained with the Mughals for such a long time. But in 1622, the Shah of Persia, Shah Abbas, the king of Persia, Shah Abbas, conquers Kandahar from the Mughals. Shah Abbas of Persia. He conquers Kandahar from the Mughals. So this was a very serious development. And Jahangir and Nur Jahan, understand this, Jahangir and Nur Jahan ordered Khurram to take the command of the Mughal army and wrest Kandahar back from the Persians. They told Khurram, you take the command of the Mughal army and reconquer Kandahar from the Persians. But Khurram refused to listen to this order of the emperor or the Pacha Begum. He said, I am not going to go to the borders to fight against the Persians. I'm not going to do. I refuse to go. You know what was his thinking, Khurram's thinking? Khurram thought that once he is on the border fighting against the Persians, then Nur Jahan will anoint Shahryar as the successor to Jahangir. She will coronate him as the emperor. And once Shahryar becomes the emperor, then he can order the execution of Khurram. So therefore, out of a lot of insecurity, Khurram refused to listen to the orders of the emperor or the Pacha Begum. And this was considered as Bagawat. Bagawat means rebellion. Because when the emperor orders something, you are supposed to comply with that order. Even even if that order be to the son of the emperor. So therefore, Khurram was accused of rebellion, and as a punishment, he was sent away to the Deccan, and he was appointed as the governor of the Deccan. So he was sent away to Deccan. So Khurram was in the Deccan. He was sent away to the Deccan as its governor, and to see that Khurram behaves himself. Two children of Khurram, that is his eldest son Dara Shikoh. Understand this? Khurram already was married, so he had children Dara Shikoh, his eldest son, and Aurangzeb, his third son. These two were taken captive and kept by Jahangir. He kept them under house arrest, so that the father Khurram behaves himself in South India. So Khurram was appointed as the governor of the Deccan, and he was sent away as a punishment to the Deccan. Are you there with me? Now, and to see that Khurram behaves himself, Dara Shikoh and Aurangzeb, two children of Khurram, were kept under house arrest by Jahangir, so that their father Khurram behaves himself. Now, this was the time when we have, Jahangir fell sick. Jahangir fell sick, and Nur Jahan took him to Kashmir. Because of the weather of Kashmir, so that the emperor recuperates and recovers quickly. So when he fell sick, they went on a holiday to Kashmir. So Nur Jahan and Jahangir, they went to Kashmir for a holiday, and that's a time when we have the commander of the Mughal army called Mahabat Khan. Understand this? We have a person called Mahabat Khan. So Mahabat Khan was the person who had defeated Khurram when Khurram had rebelled. So when Khurram refused to go to Kandahar, refused to fight against the Persians and could take back Kandahar, the person who had fought against Khurram and defeated him was this Mahabat Khan. And Mahabat Khan had been appointed as the governor of Bengal as a reward. So when Nur Jahan and Jahangir were in Kashmir enjoying their holiday, Mahabat Khan from Bengal went to Kashmir to pay his respects to the emperor. That is the time when Nur Jahan is supposed to have asked Mahabat Khan to furnish the accounts of Bengal. So what is the income and expenditure of Bengal? She asked him to furnish the accounts of Bengal. And Mahabat Khan felt insulted. He felt that his honesty, his uprightness is being questioned by the Pasha Begum. So what he did is, Mahabat Khan was a very influential and very powerful commander. He ordered the arrest of Jahangir, and Jahangir was put under arrest in Kashmir by Mahabat Khan. And that is a time when you have Nur Jahan having a talk with Mahabat Khan. So we see the diplomatic skills of Nur Jahan. So she spoke to Mahabat Khan and told him that he has done a very foolish thing by getting the emperor arrested, because the people will not accept him as their emperor. So therefore, she promises him that you have done something very hastily. So you release the emperor, and I'll safely ask you to go to Deccan and join Khurram. So better sense came on the part of Mahabat Khan. He released the emperor, ordered the release of the emperor, and true to the promise she had given Mahabat Khan was asked to go to Deccan and join Khurram there. So Mahabat Khan went away to the Deccan and he joined Khurram there. Are you there with me, all of you? Understand here? Did you understand till here? So we see the diplomatic skill of Nur Jahan, where she got Jahangir released from Mahabat Khan, and true to the promise she had given Mahabat Khan, she shifted him to the Deccan, where he joined Khurram. Right, when Jahangir died, understand this, when Jahangir died, last part not understood. So here Mahabat Khan joined Khurram in the Deccan. She negotiated with Mahabat Khan and got the release of the emperor. Right, now look here. When no, I told you, Ankush, the reason is that she, in a hasty manner, he had ordered the arrest of the emperor. But then people will not accept that. He will not. People will not accept Mahabat Khan as the new emperor. So she negotiated with Mahabat Khan and got the emperor released. And then she also gave a concession to Mahabat Khan where he can go and join Khurram in the Deccan. So Mahabat Khan went and joined Khurram in the Deccan, and that is the time where around this time we have, after some time, Jahangir dying. When Jahangir died, it was Asaf Khan who became very, very active. Understand this. Asaf Khan was the brother of Nur Jahan, and he was the father-in-law of Khurram. So once Jahangir died, what did Asaf Khan do? Asaf Khan ordered the arrest of Nur Jahan. So Asaf Khan got his sister Nur Jahan arrested. Then he sent messengers to recall Khurram from the Deccan. So messengers were sent to the Deccan so that Khurram, and as soon as possible, comes back to Agra. By the time Khurram returned to Agra, we have Asaf Khan getting Parvez murdered. You see here, he got Parvez murdered. He got Shahryar murdered, right? And Khusru, the eldest son, already had been killed by Khurram. I'll talk about Khusru in some time. Just hold on. The eldest son of Jahangir was Khusru. So Khusru was already killed by Khurram. So Asaf Khan got Parvez murdered, Shahryar murdered, and then by the time Khurram came back from the Deccan, all the major contenders to the throne were already finished off by Asaf Khan. So Khurram, he came from the Deccan to Agra and he sat on the throne and took the title of Shah Jahan. He took the title of Shah Jahan. In fact, already he had been given the title of Shah Jahan by his father Jahangir. How the title came to him, I'll tell you later. Right? So this is about the Jahangir. Now, there are other additional information about Jahangir which you need to understand. The peak of Mughal painting is under Jahangir. The peak of Mughal painting is under Jahangir. In his autobiography called Tusuki Jahangiri, he says that in a composite painting, he was able to identify which painter painted which part of the painting. So what is the meaning of a composite painting? Let's say 4 or 5 painters have painted one painting. Somebody has drawn the sketch, the outline of the dancer. Let's say somebody has drawn the the jewelry. Somebody has drawn the dress of that dancer, etc. So that's called a composite painting, where 3 or 4 people are involved in painting one particular picture. Now, when that painting was shown to Jahangir, Jahangir in his autobiography claims that he could identify which painter painted which part of the body or which part of the painting. That's what he claims. And we have this famous painter of Jahangir's time called Mansoor. He was a famous painter of animals, birds, nature, etc. Now, when Jahangir was the emperor, we have we have an ambassador from England coming. He was a representative of the East India Company, English East India Company. In the year 1608, Captain Hawkins came to the court of Jahangir, and he requested Jahangir to permit the East India Company, the English East India Company, to establish factories, to give them permission to start factories in some parts of India. But there was a very powerful Portuguese lobby in the court of Jahangir. And this Portuguese lobby prevailed upon Jahangir to refuse permission to the English East India Company to start factories. So, going down to the pressure exerted on him by this Portuguese lobby, he refused to give permission to the English East India Company to establish factories in India. But then, in two naval battles, we have the English fleet defeating the Portuguese fleet, right? And once in these two naval battles, the Portuguese fleet was defeated. One at Swally near Surat, and another in two naval battles they were defeated. And then we have in 1611 the representative of King James the First of England, or the ambassador sent by James the First of England, by name Thomas Roe. So Thomas Roe came to the court of Jahangir and he pleaded for trading concessions, including license to establish factories, permission to establish factories in India. As a result, Jahangir allowed the British to establish factories at 4 places: Agra, Ajmer, Ahmedabad, and Burhanpur. In these 4 places, the English were allowed or given permission to establish factories by Jahangir: Agra, Ajmer, Ahmedabad, and Burhanpur. So when Jahangir died, he was buried in his pleasure garden. This is in Lahore, present-day Lahore, Pakistan. This is called Dilkusha Garden. So he was buried there, and a tomb was built by his favorite queen, Noor Jahan. Noor Jahan was the one who built the tomb of Jahangir in the Dilkusha Garden, Shahdara, Lahore. Now, Noor Jahan also built a tomb for her father. So when her father, Itimadud-Dawla, died, she built a monument for him at Agra. This is the first Mughal tomb built entirely of marble. So this is the first Mughal tomb built entirely of marble, Makrana marble, including Pitradura, that is, inlaying work in marble with precious stones. So so that is a decorative element called Pitradura. When I do art and architecture, we will discuss about it. So this is about Jahangir. Are you there with me? This is about Jahangir. Jahangir story. Mahabad Khan was the commander, Anamika. He was the commander of the Mughal army. So I told you when Khurram refused to fight against the Persians and reconquer Kandahar from the Persians, and he rebelled against Jahangir and Nur Jahan, it was Mahabad Khan who defeated Khurram. But later Mahabad Khan got Jahangir arrested. But then we have the diplomacy of Nur Jahan. She negotiated with Mahabad Khan and got the emperor released from Mahabad Khan, and as a discount, as a concession, she allowed Mahabad Khan to go to the Deccan and join with Khurram. So this is Mahabad Khan. Are you there with me? This is about Jahangir. So we will discuss here. Okay, so Jahangir. So we'll talk about it. Nuruddin Muhammad Salim. So Nuruddin Muhammad Salim, born to Akbar's Rajput wife, Harka Bai, also called Maryam uz Zamani. So I told you he revolted at Allahabad because he was afraid that. Yeah, one more thing. Before I proceed, I have to tell you about Khusru, isn't it? Just hold on. So the eldest son of Jahangir. Just hold on. Yeah. So on your screen, Jahangir had four surviving sons: Khusru, Parvez, Khurram, and Shahryar. I've already told you that it was Asaf Khan who got Parvez and Shahryar murdered and made it smooth for his son-in-law Khurram to succeed to the throne. What happened to Khusru? Now let us understand this. What happened to Khusru, the eldest son of Jahangir? Now, in the lifetime of the emperor, so here please understand, among the Mughals, the question of succession arises only after the death of the emperor. Only when the emperor dies does the question arise as to who would succeed him to the throne. The emperor, of course, can nominate somebody as his successor. But in case he has not nominated, then the question arises as to who is the next emperor, who is going to be the next emperor. Now, when Jahangir was hale and hearty, um, Khusro is supposed to have, commented on carelessly. Khusro is supposed to have commented that he would like to become the next emperor. So to some of his friends, he's supposed to have begin to tell that he would like to be the next emperor. And when Jahangir came to know about this, that Khusro had spoken it was it was interpreted as rebellion because Jahangir was still alive and Khusro is talking of becoming the next emperor. So Jahangir ordered the arrest of Khusro. Now Khusro somehow escaped to the Punjab, and we have the fifth guru of the Sikhs. Understand this? Fifth guru of the Sikhs, Guru Arjan Dev. Guru Arjan Dev. He was the fifth guru of the Sikhs. Fifth guru of the Sikhs, Guru Arjan Dev, and uh, Khusro went there to Punjab and sought the blessings of Guru Arjan Dev. And thousands of people go to a guru for his blessings. Even Khusro went there, Prince Khusro went there. And the Guru Arjan Dev blessed Khusro and put a tilak, put a tika or a tilak on his forehead and blessed him. So when Jahangir came to know about this, he interpreted Arjan Dev's action as supporting his rebellious son Khusro. So it was interpreted by Jahangir as Arjan Dev, the fifth guru of the Sikhs, supporting his rebellious son Khusro. Now, Guru Arjan Dev is the person who had completed the Harmandir Sahib. So the Harmandir Sahib is the holiest Gurudwara of the Sikhs in Amritsar, Punjab. Now called Golden Temple, also called Golden Temple. It was covered in gold by the 18th century king of Punjab, Maharaja Ranjit Singh. So he was the one, Guru Arjan Dev was the one who completed the Harmandir Sahib. And he was also the person, also the Guru, who wrote the Guru Granth Sahib. He compiled the Guru Granth Sahib. Guru Granth Sahib, the holiest book of the Sikhs. Now, what did Jahangir demand from Guru Arjan? He told, so here please understand, many Sikhism was becoming very, very popular during the time of Jahangir. Many people were converting themselves to Sikhism. So that resulted in many of the Muslims, including the Hindu elite, being wary of the popularity of Sikhism. They became wary of the increasing popularity of Sikhism. So therefore, Jahangir ordered the Guru Arjan Dev, to pay a fine of 2 lakhs. He told him, you have to pay a fine of rupees 2 lakhs. And also uh, expunge, that is, delete all those sentences in the Guru Granth Sahib, which was supposedly offensive to both Hindus and Muslims. So Jahangir charged him with writing certain sentences in the Guru Granth Sahib, which was offensive to both Hindus and Muslims. The Guru point blankly told Jahangir that I have not written anything which will hurt the religious sentiments of anybody. So therefore, I'm not going to delete any sentences from the Guru Granth Sahib, and neither am I going to pay 2 lakh fine. So therefore, Jahangir ordered that he be tortured to death. The Guru be tortured to death and then killed. And accordingly, the Guru was arrested. Then all sorts of tortures were meted out to him. He was stripped off, and he was made to sit on a hot tawa with fire burning under the tawa, and hot burning sand was thrown on him. So like that, in various ways, he was tortured. Now the Guru was being led from one place to another place. So as he was being taken from one place to another place, uh, at one point they had to pass the river Ravi, which is now in Pakistan. So the Guru requested the soldiers to remove his handcuff because he would like to take a bath in the river and clean himself up. So his handcuff was removed, and the Guru got into the river Ravi supposedly to take a bath, but then he never came back from that river. He drowned himself, and that way killed himself. Obviously, he would not be able to take the torture anymore. So the Guru died in the river Ravi. Exactly at that spot, the Sikhs have built a Gurudwara, which is in Lahore. It is called Gurudwara Dera Sahib. Gurudwara Dera Sahib stands exactly at that spot in Lahore, Pakistan, where the Guru Arjan Dev went into the river. So this is about Khusru and Guru Arjan Dev, which I forgot to mention earlier. So let me continue the story of Jahangir. So he was the person responsible for the beginning of the Mughal Sikh conflict. Mughal Sikh conflict began during the time of Emperor Jahangir because he got the fifth Guru Arjan Dev executed, tortured and executed. The sixth Guru, Guru Har Gobind, fought against the Mughals. Guru Har Gobind was the sixth Guru. He fought against the Mughals, but later on the accusation that he had not paid taxes, he was imprisoned in the Gwalior fort for 10 years by Jahangir. So Jahangir got the sixth Guru Har Gobind imprisoned in the Gwalior fort for 10 years, and then he removed him. Then he released him. Okay, so here I told you he revolted at Allahabad as he thought that Akbar wanted to make Khusro, that is Jahangir's son, as the next emperor. He got Abul Fazl murdered by Bir Singh Bundela. When he became emperor, he issued 12 ordinances. These are the 12 ordinances I have mentioned here. So he abolished a number of taxes. Those people who had died and they had no heir to succeed to they did not have any children. So that property would be confiscated by the government, and it would be used for public welfare. Thursdays and Sundays throughout the Mughal Empire, no meat could be consumed. So all these were part of his 12 ordinances, right? Then he suppressed the rebellion of his son Khusru. I told you, Jahangir. Then he got that fifth Guru, Arjan Dev, killed for supporting Khusru. Then he also got Sheikh Ahmad Sarhindi arrested. Sheikh Ahmad Sarhindi was a critic of Akbar. He was a critic of Akbar. He was opposed to many of the welfare measures taken by Akbar. He wanted the Mughal emperor to reimpose jizya. Akbar had abolished jizya, and he was beginning to claim a status far superior to that of the Prophet. He said he is superior to even Prophet Muhammad. So therefore, Jahangir got this Sheikh Ahmad Sirindi temporarily arrested at the Gwalior fort. Then the most important development during Jahangir's period is the truce, is the friendship between the Mughals and the Sisodias of Mewar. So during the time of Akbar, we have Akbar fighting against Rana Pratap. He had also fought against Uday Singh II, Rana Uday Singh II, the father of Rana Pratap. But then during the time of Jahangir, we have Mughal Mewar Treaty. And the son of Rana Pratap, so Rana Pratap had died. The son of Rana Pratap was Rana Amar Singh. So Rana Amar Singh sent his son Karan Singh, sent his son Karan Singh to the court of Jahangir, and a friendship treaty was signed. The only condition, and the Mughals returned back Chittor. They returned Chittor back to the Sisodias only on the condition that the fort of Chittor would not be repaired, and the Sisodias agreed to that condition put by Jahangir. So you have good relations ensuing between the Mughals and the Sisodias of Mewar during the time of Jahangir, right? Then he married Meherun Nisa, I told you, his childhood sweetheart. He called her Noor Mahal and later Noor Jahan, made her his Bacha Begum, the chief queen. And he promoted her father, Mirza Giyas Beg. He was given the title of Itimad ud-Dawla and promoted as Wazir or Prime Minister. And her brother was made Khani Saman, that is, Mirza Abul Hassan was given the title of Asaf Khan. And Captain William Hawkins visited his court. Thomas Roe also came to his court. And when Thomas Roe came, he came as ambassador of King James I. In 4 places, the English East India Company, was allowed to establish factories at Agra, Ajmer, Ahmedabad, and Burhanpur. These are the 4 places where Jahangir permitted the company to establish factories. Yeah, no taxes, no taxes. Or no, they had to pay tribute. They had to pay tribute, Ankush. But then it was returned. Chittor, the fort of Chittor was returned to the Sisodias. But they had to accept the Mughal overlordship and also pay taxes and tributes, definitely. Then we have, of course, Paul Canning, William Edwards, 2 other visitors to the court of Jahangir. He lost Kandahar to the king of Persia, Shah Abbas. This was in 1622. And then we have Khurram rebelled. Khurram rebelled because I told you he was asked to proceed and wrest back Kandahar from the Persians, but he refused to take that responsibility. So therefore, when Khurram rebelled, he was sent away to the Deccan as the governor of the Deccan. And later Mahabad Khan, rebelled. He was defeated by Mahabad Khan. And later Mahabad Khan rebelled. But later we have Noor Jahan negotiating with him, and she saw to it that Mahabad Khan releases Jahangir from captivity. Jahangir wrote his autobiography, Tuzuki Jahangiri, in Persian language. Mughal art of painting is reached its zenith under him. His famous painter was Mansoor. He also had a chain of justice near the Agra fort. So somebody, if he or she felt aggrieved, injustice had been done to that person, they could come and ring that bell, and Jahangir will himself come and attend to that person and give instant justice if at all injustice has been done to that person. Then conflict between the Mughals and the Marathas began during the reign of Jahangir. So please remember these are such points. Conflict between the Mughals and the Marathas began during his period. And also he introduced a Du Aspa Si Aspa rank. This is basically a Savar rank. Du Aspa Si Aspa rank. What is Du Aspa Si Aspa rank? That is horses with horse, not 2-3 horses rank. 2-3 horses rank. That is called Du Aspa Si Aspa rank. This had got to do more with the Savar rank. This had got to do more with the Savar rank without increasing the Zat rank. Without increasing the Zat rank, number of troopers could be increased to 2 to 3 troopers. That's called Duaspa Siaspa rank. Okay, you also issued the grant of land under seal called Antamga. So you have a new seal called Antamga grant. If you gave a land grant, you have a new seal called Altamga. So that was imprinted on the seal, on the permission, royal farman. So you can see the torture of Guru Arjun, 1606, where in various ways he was tortured. He made to sit in a hot tawa, made to sit in hot boiling water, etc. And then we have the Gurudwara built by the Sikhs later. This is the exact spot where the Guru drowned in the river Ravi. He drowned himself voluntarily. So this was on 30th of May, 1606. Yeah. So Ankush, when Jahangir married Noor Jahan, she was already 36 years old. She was already 36 years old, and uh, uh, I don't think they had any children. I don't think they had any children. No, the conflict between the Mughals and the Marathas also began during their period, Jaswant. Okay, conflict between the Mughals and the Marathas also began during the period of Jahangir. Also between the Mughals and the Sikhs. Okay, Jaswant. Bhimre, don't ask me technical questions. Logically, Ladli Begum and Shahryar were siblings. Then how they marry? Those days it was possible, right? Ladli Begum was Noor Jahan's daughter from her first husband, and Shahryar was not her own son. He was a son of Jahangir from another wife. Did you understand? So there was no problem for Ladli Begum marrying Shahryar. Yeah. Uh, so Noor, yeah, Sher Afghan's role was nothing. No, first husband, Noor Jahan's first husband. He was made the scapegoat. He was killed later, and then he possessed Noor Jahan. Okay, we'll come back here. So we have Captain Hawkins visiting the court of Jahangir. This was in 1608, 1609. Captain Hawkins. Then Thomas Roe also visited the court of Jahangir as ambassador of King James the First of England. Duzuki Jahangiri, the autobiography of Jahangir. And then we have a painting here by Bichitir where Jahangir is shown as a world conqueror. So he's sitting on an hourglass. You can see half empty, half full. This is an hourglass, half empty, half full. Jahangir is handing over a copy of the Holy Quran to some sheikh. And we have the King of England and the Emperor of Constantinople standing before Jahangir with folded hands. So Jahangir is shown as a world conqueror in this painting by Bichitir, where King James the First of England and the King of Constantinople, the Ottoman Sultan of Constantinople, are standing before Jahangir with folded hands. Very interesting. Right? And these are the paintings of Ustad Mansoor. You can see the birds, animals. These are all paintings of Ustad Mansoor. So here Mughal, so again Jahangir is shown shooting Malik Ambar. So Malik Ambar was the person who was a minister in Ahmednagar, and when the Mughals attacked Ahmednagar, we have guerrilla warfare engaged in by Malik Ambar. So here we have a painting where Jahangir is standing on a globe and shooting at the head of Malik Ambar, the severed head of Malik Ambar. And this is the tomb of Jahangir in Lahore. This is in the Dilkusha Garden. Shahadara, Dilkusha Garden is found in the Dilkusha Garden. This was his pleasure garden, Dilkusha Garden. So whenever he wanted solitariness, he would roam around in this garden. So in the same garden, his favorite queen, Noor Jahan, got him buried. This is in Shahadara, Lahore. Shahadara, Lahore, Pakistan. The tomb of Jahangir. This is about Jahangir. Yeah. Alfia, you can see here. This is the painting where Jahangir is sitting on an hourglass, half empty, half full. Is an hourglass, right? And we have him handing over a copy of the Holy Quran to some sheikh here. And then we have the Emperor of England, the King of England, James the First, and Constantinople Emperor standing before Jahangir with folded hands. Yeah, you can see here he's folding his hands. Interesting. So I'm sure the painter Bichitter would have got a bag of gold coins from Jahangir for depicting and showing Jahangir as a world conqueror. But he was basically a drunkard. Jahangir. We have seen that. So in his autobiography, he writes shamelessly what all he did after drinking, and he neglected administration after marrying Noor Jahan. Anyway, don't write that he was a drunkard and all in the exam. I'm just putting it in a lighter manner. Okay. Can I continue? Are you there with me, all of you? So this is about Jahangir. Let's come to the next emperor, Shah Jahan. Hello, can we continue? Shah Jahan, Bhimre, who is Malik? Where? I didn't understand your question, Bhimray. You have to be specific. Malik Ambar was the minister of Ahmednagar. He was the prime minister of Ahmednagar, and when Akbar, attacked Ahmednagar, when he sent a Mughal army, you have Malik Ambar fighting against the Mughals by adopting guerrilla warfare. And the Marathas learned the technique of guerrilla warfare from this Malik Ambar, who was a minister under the Bahmani kingdom of Ahmednagar. Okay. Now let us come to Shah Jahan. Now, he was, now please understand, as you have seen, Shah Jahan's original name was Khurram. And as we have seen, his father-in-law played a very important role in he becoming the emperor. Asaf Khan, the brother of Nur Jahan. So it was Asaf Khan, brother of Nur Jahan, who secured the interest of his son-in-law. So he got Shahryar and Parvez murdered, and then he recalled Shah Jahan, Khurram, as soon as possible from the Deccan. And by the time Khurram reached Agra, all the major contenders to the throne were eliminated by Asaf Khan. Now Shah Jahan. Guerrilla warfare is hit and run tactics, Garima. Hit and run tactics, which was perfected by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. But then the Marathas learned it from Malik Ambar. So we'll come to guerrilla warfare later. Okay, guerrilla warfare is hit and run tactics. Element of surprise is there. You take the enemy by surprise. That's called guerrilla tactics. Guerrilla warfare. Okay, so let's talk about Shah Jahan. What do you know about Shah Jahan, all of you, apart from Taj Mahal? Apart from Taj Mahal, what do you know? Shah Jahan? Anybody? Portrait painting. Okay. Built many buildings. Okay, Sudhanshu. He was the greatest of the Mughal builders. Sudhanshu is very right. Ankush, great king in architecture. Monument building. Lal Killa. Amanpreet says. Okay, fine. We'll talk about Shah Jahan. So his real name was Khurram. And he was given, understand this, he was given the title of Shah Jahan by his father Jahangir. Because as Prince Khurram, he had got Ahmednagar to surrender in the year 1633. Understand this? Even before he became emperor, he had forced Ahmednagar to sign a peace treaty, the Sultanate of Ahmednagar. As a result of that, so he had scored a victory against Ahmednagar and forced Ahmednagar to sign a peace treaty. For that reason, his father Jahangir had given him a title, Shah Jahan, Emperor of the World. So his father had given him that title. So when Shah Jahan became the emperor, what do we notice? We see two rebellions which took place. One was by Jujar Singh Bundela. So I'll use another page here. So two rebellions took place under when he became emperor. Jujar Singh Bundela. So he revolted against the Mughals, Jujar Singh Bundela. And this revolt was put down. And also we have the Portuguese. The Portuguese revolted at Hooghly. They revolted at Hooghly, but the Mughals put down the Portuguese revolt also. Now, please understand, just 2 or 3 years after he became emperor, Shah Jahan lost his favorite queen, Arjuman Banu Begum or Mumtaz Mahal. Now, he lost his favorite queen, Mumtaz Mahal. Now, he was in his Deccan campaign. So, and she had also accompanied him in his Deccan campaign. So, he was fighting a war in the Deccan. Right? So, what happened is she was carrying his 14th child in her womb. Mumtaz Mahal was 14th time pregnant. So, she was carrying his 14th child in her womb. And when the time for delivery came, unfortunately, the baby was not coming out of the birth canal. The delivery was not happening. The baby had got stuck up. And unfortunately, those days we had no advancement in medical science. Otherwise, they would have gone, the doctors would have gone in for a C-section, cesarean section. and removed the baby. But then she was in pain, because those days it was natural delivery. So she was in great pain. She suffered for more than 30 hours because the baby had got stuck up in the birth canal and it was not coming out. And she gave up hope. She was in great pain. She gave up hope. And the Hakims also, the doctors also said, we cannot do anything. And that is the time when she called her husband, I believe, Mumtaz, and told her husband that I cannot bear this pain anymore. And it looks like I'm going to die. But once I die, you build something for me, which will be second to none. So he broke down. Shah Jahan broke down. And when Mumtaz died, uh, her tummy was cut open, her stomach was cut open, and the baby was removed. And that baby went on to live. It was a girl baby called Gauharara. Gauharara. So it was a girl baby, and then of course the Hakims sutured the cut they had made to remove the baby from the tummy of Mumtaz. And then Shah Jahan began the construction of the Taj Mahal, which took 22 years to complete. It took 22 years to complete. The chief architect was Ustad Isa. Ustad Isa was the chief architect of the Taj Mahal. Ustad Isa. The Makrana marble was brought, from Rajasthan. Pitradura has been used. So we will talk about Mughal architecture, including the Taj, when I do art and architecture. So he was a great builder. He built the Taj Mahal. And then later also, when Shah Jahan died, he has been buried next to the grave of his favorite queen within the Taj Mahal. So Shah Jahan was a great builder. He built the Taj Mahal, as you all know. Then he built the Moti Masjid, the Pearl Mosque in Agra. So it was made of marble, the Moti Masjid in Agra. Then, of course, the Lal Killa, the Red Fort. The Red Fort was built by him in Delhi. And he also founded the seventh city of Delhi, Shah Jahanabad. He shifted the capital to Delhi, Shah Jahanabad. That became his capital. He built the Red Fort. And of course, the biggest mosque in India, Jama Masjid. The Jama Masjid in Delhi, which can house 30,000 devotees at a time for namaz. So 30,000 people can do namaz in the premises of the Jama Masjid. It is the biggest mosque in India. So Shah Jahan was a great builder. Taj Mahal, Moti Masjid, Red Fort, Jama Masjid, and he was a man of taste. He had a lot of money as the Mughal emperor, but he also had wonderful taste. And many of the buildings inside the Agra fort were demolished by him. Those buildings had been built by his grandfather, Akbar. So he demolished all those buildings because they were made of red sandstone, and he replaced them with marble. Many of the monuments within the Agra fort. So he was a great builder, Shah Jahan. And please understand, the greatest failure of Shah Jahan was the permanent loss of Kandahar. This was the greatest failure of his. So you see, Kandahar had been lost during the time of Jahangir, and I told you about it. 1622, Shah Abbas the second of Persia. Sorry, Shah Abbas of Persia. Shah Abbas, the king of Persia, had conquered Kandahar from the Mughals. This was in 1622. But later, what happened is the Mughals bribed the Kiledar, the fort commander, the head of the fort. They bribed that fort commander, and that fellow handed over the fort to the Mughals. But then we have Shah Abbas II reconquering Kandahar. So 1638 or so, we have Shah Abbas II reconquering Kandahar from the Mughals. And Shah Jahan sent 3 campaigns to reconquer Kandahar. So Shah Jahan had 4 sons. Totally, he had 7 sons, 7 children from Mumtaz. Others had died. Totally 14 children. When she was giving birth to her 14th child, she died. So out of the 14 children from Mumtaz, he had 4 sons and 3 daughters. I'll come to that in some time. So he sent 2 campaigns under Dara Shikoh. Sorry, two campaigns under Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb was his 3rd son. So Aurangzeb, then Dara Shikoh. Dara Shikoh was his eldest son, Shah Jahan's eldest son. So he sent 2 campaigns under Aurangzeb and 1 campaign under Dara Shikoh's command to reconquer Kandahar. But then Kandahar remained with the Persians, and after that, Mughals could never reconquer Kandahar. So this was the greatest failure of Shah Jahan, that he could not reconquer Kandahar from the Persians. Now, Um, Now, what happened is Shah Jahan had 4 sons and 3 daughters, and he fell sick. All of us fall sick and we recover also. So he fell sick and he recovered. But then a rumor was spread. A rumor was spread that he was dying, and his sons began to fight for the throne. There was a civil war which broke out. So we will discuss the civil war directly here. I'm coming here. I'll discuss Shah Jahan's. So look on your screen. This is the civil war which began. Uh, he was hale and hearty, mind you. Shah Jahan was hale and hearty. He had fallen sick, but he quickly recovered. And he had posted his sons as governors of different places. So this is the most important part of Shah Jahan's reign, the civil war which took place during his reign, which led to Aurangzeb becoming the next emperor. So I'm highlighting that, and then I'll come to other aspects of his rule in some time. Just hold on. We'll discuss the PPTs. But let me talk about the civil war now and how Aurangzeb comes to power. Now, these are the children of Shah Jahan from Mumtaz Mahal, 4 sons and 3 daughters. And very peculiarly, each of those daughters of Shah Jahan had their favorite brother as to who should succeed their father. The eldest son of Shah Jahan was Dara Shikoh. You can see this is the eldest son, Dara Shikoh. He was the governor of Punjab. He had been appointed as the governor of Punjab. And the sister who wanted Dara Shikoh to succeed Shah Jahan was Jahanara Begum, or Begum Sahiba, also called Begum Sahiba. Then the second son was Shuja. He was appointed as the governor of Bengal. Then Aurangzeb was the third son. He was appointed as the governor of the Deccan. And the sister who supported Aurangzeb was Roshanara. And then Murad Baksh was the fourth son of Shah Jahan, who was appointed as the governor of Malwa and Gujarat. And he was supported by Gauharara. So these are the 4 sons and 3 daughters of Shah Jahan. I'm coming to that, Sudhanshu. Just hold on. I'm coming to that. Yeah, you're right. I'm coming to that. Now, we will talk about it sumo. We'll talk about it. Let me just discuss this. Now, what happened is a rumor was spread, and most probably the person who spread that rumor was the third son of Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb. Among the children of Shah Jahan, the most capable, the most intelligent, the most shrewd, a great commander on the battlefield was this man Aurangzeb. He was the most capable amongst the children of Shah Jahan, a great general on the battlefield, at the same time very intelligent, cunning, shrewd. Now, when so here his children began to fight for the throne, and a rumor was spread that Shah Jahan was dying. Now, what happened? This Shuja, the second son, immediately proclaimed himself as emperor. He declared himself as emperor. So this is the first one. You can see here I have I have numbered the progress of events as regards this civil war. So number 1 is this: Shuja declared himself emperor. So when Shuja declared himself emperor, Shah Jahan sent an army under Suleiman Shikoh, Suleiman Sheikh or Suleiman Shikoh, the son of Dara Shikoh. So a royal army was sent under the command of Suleiman Shikoh, the son of Dara Shikoh, who was helped by Mirza Jai Singh, the king of Mewar, so king of Amer, Jaipur. So Shuja was defeated in this battle by the royal army. That's the time when Aurangzeb got into an agreement with his younger brother, Murad Baksh. You can see here on your screen. So he told Murad was his younger brother, fourth in line. So he told his younger brother, Aurangzeb, Murad Baksh, he told his younger brother, Murad Baksh, let us join together. Let us join together. We will defeat all our other brothers and divide the empire equally amongst us. Do you have any problem? Do you have any objection regarding that? So Murad Baksh told his brother that he has no problem. Let us join together, defeat the other brothers, and divide the empire equally amongst us. So he won over Murad Baksh to his side. Then we have Shah Jahan sending another army under the command of Raja Jaswant Singh. So Raja Jaswant Singh was the king of Jodhpur, king of Marwar, and also a Mughal Mansabdar. So under the command of Raja Jaswant Singh and Qasim Khan, we have uh, Shah Jahan sending an army. This is the Battle of Dharmat. The Battle of Dharmat, which was fought between Aurangzeb and Murad Baksh on one side and Raja Jaswant Singh on the other side. And in this battle, it was Aurangzeb and Murad Baksh who defeated the royal army, defeated Jaswant Singh. It's the Battle of Dharmat. Then you have another another army sent by Shah Jahan. This is the Battle of Samugad. Battle of Samugad, where Aurangzeb defeated Dara Shikoh. Right? So Dara Shikoh was defeated by Aurangzeb. That is a time when Aurangzeb got Murad Baksh arrested. He got him arrested and got him executed. Right? He used him initially, and then he got him arrested and executed. And then he crowned himself as emperor, Alamgir. He took the title of Alamgir. Alamgir means conqueror of the world. Now, we have another battle called the Battle of Kajwa, where you have Aurangzeb fighting against Shuja. So Aurangzeb defeated Shuja, and Shuja, after being defeated by Aurangzeb, was pursued by one of the officers of Aurangzeb by name Mir Jumla. So Mir Jumla began to chase Shuja, and Shuja ran to the borders of India, to the easternmost borders of India, sat in a ship, and he sailed away towards Arakan, that is Burma. He sailed away towards Burma, or Myanmar as it is called now, and we don't know what happened to Shuja. Now, there's a saying in Hindi, isn't it? Jaan hai to jahan hai. He was very, very sure that if he's in India, his brother Aurangzeb is not going to spare him. So Shuja sailed away towards Myanmar or Burma, and we don't hear of what happened to him later. So he ran away from India, Shuja. And then we have another battle which was fought between Aurangzeb and Dara Shikoh, and this is the Battle of Diorai. So Battle of Dharmat, Battle of Samugad, Battle of Kajwa, and Battle of Diorai. This is a sequential order in which these battles happened. Please remember them. In the Battle of Diorai, Aurangzeb defeated Dara Shikoh. Second time he defeated him. And then Dara escaped into Afghanistan. He ran away into Afghanistan. And then he had a trusted friend. He went to him, a tribal chief, and he took shelter under that person. But there was a huge amount of reward on the head of Dara. Whoever captured Dara, dead or alive, would be rewarded adequately by Aurangzeb. That friend of Dara, the tribal chief, got greedy. He forgot about his friendship. He got Dara arrested, and he handed over Dara to Aurangzeb. Now, Dara Shikoh was the eldest son of Shah Jahan, as you all know. He was a very secular-minded prince, very tolerant and secular-minded prince. And he was the favorite son of Shah Jahan, Dara Shikoh. I have put a note at the later. I'll show you that. So he wrote a number of books. He translated 52 Upanishads. There are 108 Upanishads. He translated 52 Upanishads into Persian language. Then he wrote a number of books, Majma ul Bahrain, Sakinatul Awliya, like that. He wrote many books. And in this book called Majma ul Bahrain, he also wrote an anthology of the Vedas. Anthology is a collection of poems. So he also wrote an anthology on the Vedas, in the introduction to which he claims that Hinduism, in which he claims that Vedas are equal to Quran, the Holy Quran. Vedas are equal to the Holy Quran. That's what he said. But in this book called Majma ul Bahrain, written by Dara Shikoh, he had written that Hinduism and Islam are the two eyes of India. That's what he had written. Hinduism and Islam are the two eyes of India. Now, Aurangzeb, once he got Dara arrested, he used that line in the Majma ul Bahrain to create disaffection against Dara. So he began to tell the ulemas, the Muslim religious teachers, look at this person, he has insulted Islam because he is equating Hinduism to Islam. How can Hinduism be equal to Islam? It has to be inferior to Islam. And therefore, he is supposed to have insulted Islam. And on that ground, he was ordered to be executed. And the ulemas, the Muslim religious teachers, supported Aurangzeb. And on that ground, Dara was executed. Right? And later his son, Sulaiman Shikoh, was also executed. So, and then second time, Aurangzeb crowned himself emperor and took the title of Alamgir, emperor, the ornament of the throne. Alamgir means the emperor of the throne, emperor of the world. And he took the title of Alamgir, emperor of the world or conqueror of the world. Now, once Dara Shikoh was disposed of, Agra surrendered. Agra was conquered, and Shah Jahan was taken captive by Aurangzeb. He cut off, in fact, the water supply to the palace inside the Agra fort, and Shah Jahan had no choice but to surrender. And for the next 8 years, he was kept under house arrest at a place called Muthamman Burj. You can see here, this is Muthamman Burj or Shah Burj as it is called, Muthamman Burj or Shah Burj. And for 8 years, he for 8 long years, he was under house arrest here, Shah Jahan, and he was lovingly taken care by his daughter Jahanara Begum. So Jahanara Begum, his eldest daughter, took care of him, took care of her father. And most of the time, you can see in the background, you have the Taj Mahal. You can see here, there's a Taj Mahal in the background. So most of the time, he would keep staring, I believe, at the Taj, and he would remember the good times he had spent with Mumtaz, his favorite queen. And once Shah Jahan died, 8 years he was there in this Muthaman Burj. Once he died, his dead body was taken in a boat. She crossed the Yamuna. Jahanara Begum took the body of Shah Jahan across the river Yamuna, and then she got it buried next to that of her mother, that is Mumtaz. So this is the cenotaph underneath the Taj, where we have Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan buried along with his favorite queen Mumtaz. So this is the end of Shah Jahan, right? Now we'll discuss other aspects of Shah Jahan's rule and also your questions. I'll come to that in some time. Just hold on. So Shah Jahan, he ruled for 30 years, as you can see, 1628 to 58. Two rebellions took place during his period. One is Jujar Singh Bundela revolted against him, but that rebellion was put down, and also the Portuguese revolted. They were driven out of Hooghly in 1632. We have this British traveler called Peter Mundy. Peter Mundy describes the great famine which happened in the Deccan during the time of Shah Jahan. The great famine of the Deccan was described by Peter Mundy. We have also two French visitors to the court of Shah Jahan, Tavernier and Bernier. Tavernier and Bernier, these were visitors from France. They came to the court of Shah Jahan. And we have an Italian called Monucci. Monucci from Italy visited the court of Shah Jahan. So he was from Italy, Monucci, and Tavernier and Bernier were from France, and Peter Mundy was from England. Then in 1633, understand this, in the year 1633, we have the conquest of Ahmednagar Sultanate by Shah Jahan. He conquered Ahmednagar Sultanate, and as a prince, he had earlier forced Ahmednagar to sign a peace treaty. So that's when he got the title of Shah Jahan, king of the world, from his father Jahangir. He also defeated Bijapur and Golconda and forced peace treaties upon them. Right? Then Aurangzeb was made the viceroy of the Deccan, and Kandahar was seized in 1638 by the Mughals, but they ultimately lost it to Shah Abbas II of Persia. This is the greatest failure of Shah Jahan. He sent 3 campaigns, two under Aurangzeb and one under Dara Shikoh, but he failed to reconquer Kandahar from the Persians. This is the greatest failure of Shah Jahan. Greatest failure. The greatest failure is that he was not able to reconquer Kandahar. Greatest failure of Shah Jahan is that. Unable to reconquer Kandahar from the Mughals. Right? Then, of course, we have when Aurangzeb was posted in the Deccan as its governor, we have Aurangzeb writing letters to his father. So Aurangzeb, as the governor of the Deccan, would write letters to his father Shah Jahan, and Shah Jahan would ask his son Aurangzeb to furnish the accounts. Now, give me the income and the expenditure of the Deccan, and every time they'll be having differences. So we have financial bickering, financial squabble or bickering between father and son, and that has been contained in a book called Adabi Alamgiri. This is the official correspondence between Aurangzeb as governor of Deccan and his father Shah Jahan, and that is large part of it. A large part of this financial bickering is found in this book called Adabi Alamgiri. Right? Then Shah Jahan was the greatest builder of the Mughals. He built the Taj Mahal. It took about 4 crore during those days, a little bit more than 4 crores of rupees. And now it is you cannot. It is priceless now. It is priceless. And somebody had mentioned here sumo. He says, "I've heard Shah Jahan cut off the hands of all the workers who built the Taj, so that there can be no second Taj Mahal." Is this story true, or is it a rumor? Right? What do you think? What do you think? Is it true or is it a rumor? Yeah, it was Agra Fort. Adam Bhimre, you're right. It was Agra Fort. Sumo says it can be true. What about others? Sudhanshu says it's a rumor. Now the question is, uh, he wanted to make Black Taj Mahal. It's a rumor. I think it is true. Ankush is very diplomatic. He says it can be true or false. Gunjan says she's not sure, but I have to check. How will you check, Gunjan? How will you check? Okay. Now the thing is, personally, I feel it is a rumor because it would have been it should, everybody cannot build a monument like the Taj. He should be a very, very rich man, a rich and powerful man to build a huge complex like that of the Taj Mahal, right? So there's no point in cutting off fingers or hands of workers, because always he'll find fresh workers to build a monument. If somebody is so rich, he can always hire fresh workers and fresh architects, isn't it? It's there for everybody to see. Why should he expect the same workers to build the Taj? It can be replicated if at all that person can afford. So I feel it's a rumor. Anyway, it's my personal opinion. But we'll not spend too much time on all these things. We'll come back here. So the chief architect was Ustad Isa. Then we have the Peacock Throne. It was taken away to Persia by Nadir Shah. You remember, you studied that as part of early medieval India. Nadir Shah plundered Delhi in 1739. He carried away the Peacock Throne, the Kohinoor Diamond. He defeated Muhammad Shah Rangila, later Mughal emperor, isn't it? So Peacock Throne was made by Bey Badal Khan. So that was the throne on which Shah Jahan sat and conducted the court. I believe it was very, very, very rich throne, started with diamonds, rubies, pearls, emerald, etc. The Moti Masjid inside the Agra fort and the Jama Masjid at Delhi, and of course the city of Shah Jahanabad at Delhi, the seventh city of Delhi. This is the seventh city built by Shah Jahanabad, and the Red Fort, the Lal Killa, which took about a little bit more than 1 crore. It took about 1 crore to build the Red Fort. It's a fort come city complex. There's a city within the Red Fort. You also have a palace inside the Red Fort. And then the Rang Mahal. It was the private apartment of Shah Jahan, the Rang Mahal. So you have his personal bedroom is found inside that, where there's a canal which flows through, a natural canal which flows through his bedroom. It is called Nahari Bihish, the canal of paradise. So he was a man with great taste. There are many rich people in this world, but then many of them don't have taste. He had both. He had the money as well as the taste to build these monuments. And somebody had told here, I think, I'm not very sure who that person is, Ankush or somebody, Sudhanshu. Yeah, Sudhanshu is very right. You see, the beginning of the decline of the Mughal Empire. Please understand this. The beginning of the decline of the Mughal Empire is from the time of Shah Jahan. You know why? Because he spent huge amount of public money on his grand monuments. He built the Taj Mahal, the Jama Masjid, the Red Fort, the Moti Masjid. Okay, all these buildings costed a huge amount of money. So public money, which was there in the treasury, was used to build these grand monuments. Um, that almost emptied the treasury. And then the decline was hastened. The decline of the Mughal Empire was hastened under Aurangzeb when he made enmities with many rulers, many people, and that led to the final decline of the Mughal Empire. So the beginning of the decline is from Shah Jahan's time onwards. You're right, Sudhanshu, right? Yeah, Muhammad Shah Rangila. So I said Rang Mahal is inside the Red Fort. That is a private apartment of Shah Jahan inside the Red Fort in Delhi. That was his private apartment. And Muhammad Shah Rangila was the Mughal emperor who was defeated by Nadir Shah in 1739 when he plundered Delhi and took away the Kohinoor diamond, the Peacock throne, etc. Okay, fine. There are different opinions, Ankush. Let me not throw much light on that. We have a lot of things to cover. So we have, uh, sorry. So this is the Taj Mahal. We'll discuss about Taj Mahal in detail when I do art and architecture, running water, Char Bagh of gardens, Makrana marble, Pitra Dura, All this is used in the Taj. It is, poet Rabindranath Tagore called the Taj has a teardrop in the eye, in the ocean of existence. A teardrop in the ocean of existence. Very beautiful, the Taj. And the British had planned to dismantle the Taj and take away the marble to England. Thank God they did not do anything like this. Otherwise, we would have lost the Taj for posterity. So this is the Peacock Throne. And of course, the Moti Masjid inside the Agra Fort, the Pearl Mosque, it is made of marble by Shah Jahan. And the Jama Masjid, the biggest mosque in India. So this is the Jama Masjid at Delhi, which can house 30,000 people for namaz at a time. The biggest mosque in India, Delhi. And this is the Red Fort, as you all know, right? So I have discussed the War of Succession, and then we have the next emperor. Okay, next emperor, Aurangzeb. So I have given a small note on Darashiko. Darashiko translated the Gita, the Vedanta, 52 Upanishads. Then he wrote many books like Sakinatul Awliya, Hasnatul Arifin, Majma'ul Bahrain, even an anthology of the Vedas. So he was a favorite son of Shah Jahan, but unfortunately, he could not succeed to the throne, and he was killed by Aurangzeb. Then we have Aurangzeb. Are they with me? Okay. So Aurangzeb Alamgir. So what do you know about Aurangzeb? Aurangzeb means ornament of the throne. Ornament of the throne. Ornament of the throne. Now, Aurangzeb is a person much hated in present times, but then let us have a balanced approach towards discussing this man called Aurangzeb, the last great Mughal emperor, Aurangzeb. The Mughal Empire reached its zenith under him. The Mughal Empire reached its zenith under him in terms of its spread. He conquered Golconda and Bijapur. Bijapur was conquered in 1686 in the south, in Karnataka, and Golconda was also conquered by him in 1687. So the maximum territorial extent of the Mughal Empire was reached under him. Now, this Aurangzeb was a very peculiar fellow. When you look at the other Mughal emperors, all the Mughal emperors, Babur, Humayun, Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, all these people were addicted to wine, women, and opium. For example, Akbar had 5,000 women in the harem. But this man, Aurangzeb, was unlike his predecessors. He was not addicted to wine, women, or opium. He had only two wives. Well, I said only two because I'm comparing him with other Mughal emperors. Anyway, that's their personal life. We should not be bothered about their personal life. They are dead and gone long time back. And those were early, different times. Medieval times were different times. And we cannot use modern yardsticks to judge them. But anyway, if you make a balanced assessment of Aurangzeb, that's what I'm trying to do here. An effort is being made to present a balanced account of Aurangzeb. So he was having only two wives, and he was not addicted. He was not addicted, unlike the other Mughal emperors, not addicted to wine, women, or opium. Not addicted to wine, women, opium. Right. Then, personally, he would never use public money for private purposes. He was one of the, as the Mughal emperor, he would have been one of the richest people on the earth. But then he will never use public money for his personal expenses. So what would Aurangzeb do then? He will copy the Holy Quran. He'll make copies of the Holy Quran in his own handwriting. Then he'll sew caps. Muslims wear caps for namaz. When they go to the masjid, they're supposed to cover their head with a cap. So he would sew those caps with his own hands. He will sell the copies. He'll get the copies of the Quran sold through his soldiers, through his officers, and also those caps which he had himself sewn. And with that money, whatever money came to his hands by selling those things, he would use it for his personal expenses. So he was very frugal-minded that way. Very frugal-minded. Would never spend public money for private expenses. Then this man, Aurangzeb, was the person who banned many things. He prohibited the following things. One is music. So please understand, instrumental music continued, including the Naubat. Naubat is royal band. Naubat means royal band. Royal band continued. Instrumental music continued. Instrumental music continued. So you can play instruments and create music. But if you say Saregama, you're dismissed. So he prohibited music. He himself was a veena player. This Aurangzeb was a veena player. He used to play the veena. But then he banned music in the court because it was un-Islamic, according to him. Then he banned painting. All the painters were dismissed from the court. So he banned painting. Then history writing. He banned history writing, prohibited history writing. But the maximum history books were written during his period. Maximum history books were written during his period. Then, fornication, nothing wrong in that. Uh, you know, uh, Fornication is having sexual relations with outside marriage. You're not married and still you have sexual relations. So that is not allowed in Islam. So therefore, he banned fornication. Then the consumption of alcohol and narcotic substances, alcohol and mind-altering substances, narcotic substances. So he banned all these things. So he prohibited all these things: music, painting, history writing, fornication, alcohol and narcotics, etc. Now, Aurangzeb is the person um, who um, who also reimposed the pilgrim tax as well as the jizya. So I'm trying to present a balanced account of Aurangzeb here because it is easy to criticize, but there are also some positive aspects of his personality. And every one of us, each one of us has pluses and minuses in our personality. Now, let us talk about Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb, he, where was I? Yeah. So here he reimposed jizya and pilgrim tax. Now, where he made enmities, look here, where he made enmities was, where he created problems for the Mughal empire was, and for himself was, that he was very intolerant. He was very, very intolerant. And he was intolerant of whom? He was intolerant of the Shias. The Mughals were Sunnis. So he was intolerant of the Shias. In fact, he banned Nowruz. Nowruz is Persian New Year. Remember, Balban, celebrated Nowruz, introduced Nowruz, that is Persian New Year festival. So Aurangzeb banned Nowruz because it was a Shia festival. He conquered Bijapur and Golconda. Bijapur was conquered in 1686 and Golconda in 1687 because they were Shia ruled states. They were ruled by Shias. And then Aurangzeb is also the person who made enmities with all these people. He increased the enmities. He made enmities with the Rajputs. He spoiled his relations with the Rajputs. Then he continued the enmity with the Sikhs. Mughal Sikh relations got spoiled during the time of Jahangir. We have seen that. So during the time of Aurangzeb, we have further deterioration in the relations between the Mughals and the Sikhs. And then, of course, Marathas. And this enmity with the Marathas costed him his life. The enmity with the Marathas costed him his life. Now, we'll come to this. And then also he made enmities with the Jats and the Bundelas. The Jats and the Bundelas also, he fought against them. So he made enmities with all these people: Rajputs, Sikhs, Marathas, as well as the Jats and the Bundelas. Right. Now, Aurangzeb is the person who reimposed jizya. So I told you he reimposed jizya, and he wanted Hindus, non-Muslims, particularly Hindus, to go and pay the jizya tax personally in an office. So they had to go personally and pay the jizya tax. Jason Gilbert, one of the British historians, tells us that he expected the Hindus to go personally and pay the jizya tax. And while paying the jizya tax, they were supposed to read some lines in the Holy Quran where it is said that they were inferior to Muslims. And this led to a lot of anger amongst the non-Muslims, including amongst his many officials. So they became very angry with this because they had to read that line where it said that they are inferior to the Muslims just because they were non-Muslims. So that was the tax which he imposed. Jizya tax was reimposed, and then he ordered the demolition of temples. He ordered the demolition of temples. For example, he ordered the demolition of the Kashi Vishwanath temple. So we have the Vishwanath temple at Kashi. So he got this temple demolished. Then the at Kashi or Varanasi. Then we have the Keshavarai temple at Mathura. So he got this temple demolished. But very interestingly, please understand, we have farmans. What's a farman? Farman is a royal proclamation. Farman is a royal proclamation. And what we notice is, in many of these farmans, we have seen Aurangzeb, ordering the construction of many temples. He ordered the construction of temples. Okay, then mutts, bathing ghats, gurudwaras. So we also have farmans against his name, where he has ordered the construction or repair of temples, mutts, bathing ghats, gurudwaras, and also dargahs, Sufi shrines or dargahs. So we have a lot of information regarding some of the good things he has done, including building of temples. For example, I've made a list here. You can see here. For example, you can see on your screen, he ordered the construction of these temples. Okay, Mahakaleshwar temple at Ujjain in Madhya Pradesh, the Balaji temple of Chitrakoot in Madhya Pradesh, Umananda temple of Guwahati, Assam, then Shatrunjaya Jain temples in Gujarat, a Gurudwara at Dehradun. So these are the various temples, Gurudwaras, etc., which he ordered to be constructed. And we have many farmans indicating that. So many new temples were built. At the same time, hundreds of temples were demolished under his orders or also by his officers. As I told you, the Vishwanath temple at Varanasi, the Keshav Deo temple at Mathura. Then he also ordered the destruction of temples in these places like Khandela, Udaipur, Chittor in Rajasthan, Jodhpur, etc. Very interestingly, a mosque was demolished by the orders of Aurangzeb in Golconda. So the reason why he got this mosque demolished was that the Golconda Sultan was hiding wealth in that mosque. So once Aurangzeb came to know that this mosque was purposely built by the Golconda Sultan to hide his wealth there, extra wealth there, he got that mosque demolished. But then again, demolition of mosques was a rarity. It was not a common thing, it was a rarity. So Jama Masjid at Golconda was demolished under his orders. Then a number of people were executed on the orders of Aurangzeb. So, for example, we have the head of the Dawoodi Bohra sect, the head of the Dawoodi Bohra sect, Bohra Muslims in Gujarat, Dawoodi Bohra Muslims. The head was a man called Sayyidina Qutub Khan Qutubuddin. So he was accused of heresy, that is, insulting Islam. So on the grounds of insulting Islam, he was ordered to be executed by Aurangzeb. Then Aurangzeb also ordered the execution of the ninth Sikh Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur. Ninth Sikh, this was in the year 1675. Now, recently, I think 2021, that's a different story. I'll come to that. So, Guru Tegh Bahadur was ordered to be executed by Aurangzeb in 1675. So, let me throw light upon that. What happened? What was the reason as to why the ninth Guru was ordered to be executed by Aurangzeb? Now, look here. During the time of during the time of Aurangzeb, we have a revolt in Kashmir. Hindus in J&K, Jammu and Kashmir, had risen in revolt. Why they had risen in revolt? Because of the policy of forcible conversions. Forcible conversions. So Hindus were being forcibly converted to Islam under the orders of Aurangzeb in Jammu and Kashmir. And therefore the Hindus had risen in revolt. Now, a delegation of Hindus I forget the name of that person. They came to the court of the ninth Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur. So Guru Tegh Bahadur, he was the ninth Guru of the six. So a delegation of Hindus came to his court, and they told Guru Tegh Bahadur that this is happening in Jammu Kashmir, that Hindus are being forcibly converted to Islam. So once Guru Tegh Bahadur came to know about this development, he told these Hindu delegates not to worry, because the Guru is going to give protection to them, and then he is supposed to have said that if they can, if Aurangzeb can, let him try to convert Tegh Bahadur. If he has the guts, let him try to convert Tegh Bahadur to Islam and see. So when I believe Aurangzeb came to know about this, and some sources tell us that Guru Tegh Bahadur himself went to Delhi, and he introduced himself as the ninth Guru of the Sikhs. Thereupon he was arrested because he had spoken like this: "Let the Mughals try to convert me." So therefore, he was tried in a court of law. The Qazi of Delhi, called Abdul Nabi, tried Guru Tegh Bahadur in a court of law, and he was asked point blankly. He was asked by this Qazi whether he said anything like that, whether uh, you know he said anything like that. So Guru Tegh Bahadur is supposed to have replied that it is wrong to convert anybody to any religion. It should be purely on a voluntary basis. Voluntary basis. Somebody wants to convert himself or herself to some other religion, it should be voluntarily. Voluntary should not be forced upon. And therefore, I did speak like this. And because it is wrong, in the eyes of God, it is wrong. So the Qazi found him guilty, and he was given two choices. Guru Tegh Bahadur was given two choices. One was death penalty. Second choice was converting himself to Islam. Guru Tegh Bahadur is supposed to have replied, I would like to die. I would prefer to die than convert myself to Islam. So here, um, Guru Tegh Bahadur had gone there with three of his disciples, three of his students. Each of them also refused to convert themselves to Islam. So one was literally torn apart. One was literally torn apart by horses. His a person's, one of his disciples' hand and leg was tied to a horse, and you have another horse to which his left hand and leg were tied, and they were asked to pull in opposite directions. So he was literally torn to pieces. Another person was dropped in hot boiling water, so he died, and another person was executed. And Guru Tegh Bahadur's head was cut off. The Guru Tegh Bahadur's head was cut off. Now this happened exactly at a spot in present-day Chandni Chowk, Delhi. And the Sikhs later have built a Gurudwara exactly at that spot. And the name of this Gurudwara is Gurudwara Sheesh Ganj. Sheesh, Sheesh Ganj Gurudwara. Sheesh, as you all know in Hindi, is head. Sheesh Ganj Gurudwara. So this is in Chandni Chowk, Delhi. So you can see here on your screen, this is the Gurudwara Sheesh Ganj Sahib on your screen in Chandni Chowk, Delhi. And this is the exact spot where the Guru Tegh Bahadur's head was cut off. Now what happened? That head, the severed head of the Guru, was taken to Punjab by a person called Bhai Jaitaji. Bhai Jaitaji carried that head without the body to Punjab and handed over the severed head of the Guru to the son of Guru Tegh Bahadur, Guru Gobind Rai, who later became Guru Gobind Singh Ji. And he performed the last rites of his father's head. He performed the last rites. And what happened to the headless body of the Guru? It was lying there where he was executed. And people were very scared to pick up that body. So therefore, two disciples of the Guru, they dragged the body of Guru Tegh Bahadur into their hut, and they burned the hut along with the body of the Guru. So the hut of theirs was burnt along with the dead body of Guru Tegh Bahadur, the headless body of Guru Tegh Bahadur, right? So this was done by, you can see I have put a note here, you can go through it, Lakisha Banjara Bhai Nagaya. So they took the headless body of the Guru and they burned their hut, and the dead body also burnt along with the hut. And later, the Sikhs have built a Gurudwara exactly at that spot. So Delhi was conquered by the Sikh military leader called Baghel Singh Dhaliwal in 1783. And once Delhi was conquered, we have the Gurudwara Rakab Ganj Sahib, which is near Parliament House, New Delhi, where the Sikhs have built a Gurudwara there, where the headless body of the Guru was burned by these two Sikh disciples of Guru Tegh Bahadur. This brought the 10th Guru to power, Guru Gobind Singh Ji. So I'll use, just hold on, I'll use another page here. So once Guru Tegh Bahadur was killed, we have Guru Gobind Singh who came to power. He was the 10th and the last Guru of the Sikhs. And Guru Gobind Singh was the one who established the Khalsa. In the year 1699, he established the Khalsa, the militant Sikh army. This is the militant Sikh army. Militant Sikh army. And he was the one, Guru Gobind Singh was the one who began the tradition of baptism amongst the Sikhs. He was the one who baptized the Sikhs. So baptized the Sikhs. So we have the Sikhs who are baptized under the ceremony called Puhul. Under a ceremony called Puhul, the Sikhs are baptized. What is this baptism amongst the Sikhs? This is the rule which was brought by Guru Gobind Singh, the 10th and the last Guru of the Sikhs. A Sikh is supposed to wear 5 things on his body, on his person. These are called 5 Ks, 5 Ks or kakka. So what are the 5 Ks? Kesh. A Sikh is not supposed to cut his hair, kesh. Then kada or kara, an iron bangle on the right hand. Iron bangle on the right hand. So kesh, kada, kirpan. Kirpan is a sword or a dagger. A dagger or a sword. Then kangha. Kangha is a comb, to comb the hair, comb. And then kacha, an undergarment, kacha, an underwear. Why underwear? So that let that be a reminder to the Sikhs when they're taking revenge against the Mughals, they should not violate Muslim women. Let that be a reminder. That's a kacha, undergarment, underwear. And then Guru Gobind Singh said, I will convert everybody in Punjab into a lion. So he was the one who added the suffix Singh against everybody's name. Singh means lion. So that's why we have, Sardarjis, they have their name ending with Singh. Singh means lion. So he said, I'll make everybody into lion, like Lal Singh, Manmohan Singh, Butta Singh, etc. So Singh is lion. So he added the Singh suffix called Singh. And women were given the suffix Kaur. Kaur means princess, like Bibi Jagir Kaur. And Guru Gobind Singh waged war against the Mughals. He waged war against the Mughals. But then we have the governor of Lahore. He conquered Anandapur Sahib. Anandapur Sahib. Guru Gobind Singh lost Anandapur Sahib. That was his headquarters. And recently, I think about in 2021, if I'm right, the government of India decided to celebrate, I think December 26th has Veer Bal Divas. Veer Bal Divas. That is, we have Guru Gobind Singh who lost 4 of his children. 4 of his children, he lost them in battle. He lost also his headquarters, Anandapur Sahib. So that day, you have the Chote Sahibzadas. I think I don't remember their names. Totally 4 children. One was a 7-year-old boy, another was a 9-year-old boy, and then another 2 boys were slightly elder. One was a 17-year-old boy, another was a 19-year-old boy. So all these 4 children were killed in battle. The younger ones, their throat was slit by Wazir Khan. Wazir Khan was the governor of Lahore. So Wazir Khan was the governor of Lahore. So he slit their throat and they were buried into the wall. And I believe even till the last moment, they stood there unflinching. They were given an option to convert themselves to Islam, but they refused. Even these Chote Sahibzadas. So that is why the government of India has declared December 26th as Veer Bal Divas to celebrate the martyrdom of the 4 children of Guru Gobind Singh. So Guru Gobind Singh also wrote a letter called Zafarnama. This was written in Persian language. He wrote a letter called Zafarnama to Aurangzeb, explaining as to why the Sikhs have revolted against the Mughals. Uh, and then of course you have Aurangzeb. When did Aurangzeb die? Aurangzeb died in 1707. Understand this? I'm continuing the story of the Mughals, Sikhs here. Aurangzeb died in 1707. Now, when Aurangzeb died, understand this, when Aurangzeb died, three of his sons, so he had totally four sons, three of his sons began to fight for the throne. The eldest was Muazzam, Muhammad Azam, and Kambaksh. Aurangzeb actually had four sons. His eldest son was Prince Akbar, and Prince Akbar ran away towards Persia. What happened to Prince Akbar? I'll tell you that in another story. Okay, now he had three surviving sons, Muazzam, Muhammad Azam, and Kambaksh. And these three sons of Aurangzeb, after the death of their father, began to fight for the throne. Muazzam managed to kill both his brothers and became the emperor. And he took the title, Muazzam took the title Bahadur Shah the First. He took the title of Bahadur Shah the First or Shah Alam the First. I'll look at your doubts in some time, just hold on. So Bahadur Shah the First or Shah Alam the First. And in this civil war, when Muazzam was fighting his brothers, in this civil war, Guru Gobind Singh had supported Muazzam. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, Guru Gobind Singh had supported Muazzam. And therefore, since Guru Gobind Singh had supported Muazzam, Bahadur Shah requested Guru Gobind Singh to join the Mughal administration as a Mansabdar. So Guru Gobind Singh was convinced by Bahadur Shah to join the Mughal administration as a Mansabdar. So Guru Gobind Singh joined the Mughal administration as a Mansabdar, and he was posted in far away place called Nanded in Maharashtra. At a place called Nanded in Maharashtra, Guru Gobind Singh was posted there by Bahadur Shah, the Mughal emperor. One day, when Guru Gobind Singh was meditating, he had closed his eyes and he was meditating, an Afghan beheaded him. An Afghan beheaded Guru Gobind Singh. And the Sikhs blamed Bahadur Shah for the murder of their Guru. That resulted in, so once Guru Gobind Singh was assassinated, we have Banda Bahadur. Banda Bahadur was a disciple of Guru Gobind Singh. Banda Bahadur waged war against the Mughals. Banda Bahadur waged war against the Mughals. But then Banda Bahadur also lost his life during the time of Emperor Farrukh Siyar. During the time of Emperor Farrukh Siyar, one of the later Mughal emperors, Banda Bahadur lost his life. So this is the Mughal Sikh conflict in brief, whatever I've told you. So please understand, three Sikh gurus lost their lives during the Mughal rule. Guru Arjan, the fifth guru, during the time of Jahangir. So Jahangir was responsible for the death of Guru Arjan Dev, the fifth guru of the Sikhs. Then Guru Tegh Bahadur lost his life during the time of Aurangzeb. And Guru Gobind Singh Ji. So Guru Gobind Singh during the time of Bahadur Shah the First. Clear? Garima, some Afghan. You have we have in Nanded, the Gurudwara. A Gurudwara has been built by the Sikhs there, where Guru Gobind Singh was murdered. I forget the name of the Gurudwara. Gurudwara Patna Sahib is where he was born. Guru Gobind Singh was born in present-day Patna, Bihar. So there's Gurudwara Patna Sahib there, and Huzur Sahib, Gurudwara Huzur Sahib. That's a place where he was killed. Gurudwara has been built there. Gurudwara, it's called Gurudwara Huzur Sahib in Maharashtra, at a place called Nanded. Right? Are you there with me? So this is about the Mughal Sikh conflict, and it was aggravated by Aurangzeb. when he made enmities with the Sikhs as such. When he made enmities with the Sikhs. Right. Ankush, that's what. No, he was a contrasting person. Ankush, he was so more of a man of contrasts. Aurangzeb was a man of contrasts. But what we can definitely tell is he did more bad than good, because he did not take care of the religious sentiments of the majority of the population of India. He was trying to introduce Islamic rule in this country. He was a person who believed in the Naqshbandi Mujahidi order. Naqshbandi, he was a person who believed in the Sufi order called Naqshbandi Mujahidi order, and he was a disciple of the son of the Punjabi saint Sheikh Ahmad Sirhindi. So we have Sheikh Ahmad Sirhindi, who was arrested and imprisoned temporarily in the Gwalior fort by Jahangir. So his son, so Aurangzeb was a disciple of the son of Sheikh Ahmad Sirhindi, and he wanted to introduce Islamic rule in this country. So therefore, he created more problems for himself. And one more thing. So let me discuss Aurangzeb here, and then I have some more stories to tell you about Aurangzeb. I'll come to that because in the context it is important. Uh, so you will see his real name was this, Muhi al-Din Muhammad. His real name was Muhi al-Din Muhammad, also known as Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb means ornament of the throne. And I told you maximum territorial extent happened under him. He was the most capable, the most daring amongst the children of Shah Jahan, most cunning, most shrewd, and also a great commander on the battlefield. And he was given the title of Bahadur by his father Shah Jahan, because in the Mughal camp, suddenly an elephant under must began to misbehave. That is when an elephant is sexually charged up, it starts bleeding. Literally, you have some fluids coming out from the eyes of the elephant. So this elephant in the Mughal camp was mad with rage, and it began to misbehave. So Aurangzeb single-handedly brought that elephant under control. The name of this elephant was Sudhakar. So looking at the daredevilry of Aurangzeb, his father Shah Jahan gave him a title, Bahadur. So that's where he got this title. And I have put this picture here, where he was able to control this elephant single-handedly, right? And he got the title of Alamgir. He took the title of Alamgir, conqueror of the world. So he was a follower of this Naqshbandi Mujahidi order. Naqshbandi Mujahidi order of Sufi saints. He was a disciple of the son of the Punjabi saint Sheikh Ahmad Sirhindi, and he wanted to establish Islamic rule in this country. These are the various things he prohibited. These are good things which he did actually. Gambling, he prohibited gambling, fornication, consumption of alcohol and narcotics. Nowruz was a Persian New Year, and he was anti-Shia. So Persia is a Shia country. Even now, Iran, a majority of them are Shias, and Mughals were Sunnis. And he banned Nowruz because it was a Shia New Year festival. So he banned Nowruz for that reason. Singing, painting, Jaroka Darshan. Now, what is this Jaroka Darshan? Anybody? What is Jaroka Darshan? Jaroka Darshan is, understand this. The Mughal emperor was considered to be the representative of God on this earth. So he was considered to be the representative of God on this earth. So every morning, early morning, in India, we have this tradition. I'm sure it must be there in other parts of the world also, among many people. But then we have this following where when you get up in the morning, you want to see something holy. You might want to, among the Hindus, they might want to see their palms. They might tell a shlok or a hymn. They might see some god's photo or idol. Or among the Muslims, they see the photo of the holy Makkah. Among the Sikhs, they might see the Guru Granth Sahib, etc., etc. Now, the Mughal emperor was considered to be the representative of God on this earth during those days. So, early morning, people will congregate around the palace, around the palace balcony, and they'll be waiting for the emperor to see the face of the emperor. So, once the emperor gets up, he'll come to the balcony and show his face, because looking at the emperor's face was equal to looking at God. And then the people will hail the emperor, and then they'll go to do the rest of their duties. Now, Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb banned this tradition called Jaroka Darshan. He said, "I'm only a human being. I'm not a god or representative of God on this earth." So therefore, he banned Jaroka Darshan. Did you understand? This is Jaroka Darshan. So he'll show up. He'll show up in his balcony and show his face, and then people will pray to the emperor and then uh, continue their duties. So he banned that. Then official department of history writing was discontinued, but I told you maximum number of history books were written during his period. He reimposed the jizya in 1679. Then Assam was captured by Mir Jumla. So Mir Jumla was the one who chased Shuja out of India. Shuja ran away from India and he was chased by Mir Jumla. Then we come to this man Shaista Khan. Shaista Khan was appointed as the governor of Bengal by Aurangzeb, and in that capacity as the governor of Bengal, he captured Chittagong, and of course drew away the Arakanese and Portuguese pirates, the pirates of Burma, Arakan or Burma, and Portuguese pirates. Now, I need to tell you some more stories of Aurangzeb, but we will take a break here. We will stop here. I'll end this session here with one small note. Look here. When we look at the life of Aurangzeb, look here. When we look at the life of Aurangzeb, we divide his life into two parts. He ruled from when? He ruled from 1658. Aurangzeb ruled from 1658 to 1707. This is the reign period of Aurangzeb. Okay, now when you look at his reign, we notice that we can divide his reign into two parts. First part, he ruled in North India, 1658 to 81. He ruled in North India. Then 1681 to 1707. For more than 20 years, he ruled in South India. He was found in South India and he never went back to the North. And he died in the South and he has been buried in the South. So we can divide his rule into two parts, 1658 to 1707. First part, 1658 to 81, when he was in North India. And then something brought him to South India. What brought him to South India? I'll tell you later after the break. So 1681 to 1707, he was found in South India. He never went back to the North and he died in the South and he has been buried in the South. So we will talk about it right after the break. And then simultaneously, when I'm doing Aurangzeb, I have this practice of talking about Marathas. We'll start simultaneously about Marathas and the great Maratha king Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. So then I will link Aurangzeb with Shivaji, right? Because that's how destiny had willed it, that both these people meet. So I will connect Aurangzeb and Shivaji. And once we finish with the Marathas and Shivaji, I'll again come back to Aurangzeb and finish Mughal chapter. This is how I present Mughal simultaneously along with Marathas. So after the break, I'll talk about Rajputs, his conflict with the Rajputs, and then I'll start with the Marathas. Okay? So we will come back after a break. What is the time now? 16, almost 7 o'clock. We'll meet at 7:15. Come back at 7:12, 7:13. We'll come back at 7:13 p.m. and we'll continue the story of the Mughals and later about Aurangzeb and of course about the Marathas. Okay, we'll come to that. We'll come to that. Thank you. Come back after a break. Okay. 7:13 will start. Sharply start. Restart rather. Good evening, everyone. Can we continue the story of Aurangzeb? Right. Okay. Now, I have discussed the relations of Aurangzeb with the Sikhs. How he got Guru Tegh Bahadur, the ninth Guru, executed on what grounds, and then, of course, what happened after the death of Guru Tegh Bahadur, the coming of Guru Gobind Singh, and then of Banda Bahadur, all those things we have discussed. Now, let me talk to you about how Aurangzeb spoiled his relations with the Rajputs, and then I'll come to the Marathas after that. Now, how did Aurangzeb spoil his relations with the Rajputs? So, let us talk about that. Now, Akbar had given a privileged position to the Rajputs. We have seen that Watan Jagirs, he did not transfer them outside their own homelands. They were all given Jagirs within their homelands. And of course, Akbar married many Rajput princesses, and he used the Rajputs to strengthen the Mughal Empire. He knew that if you win over the confidence, the trust of the Rajputs, they will even give their uh, life for the other person. And that's what the Rajputs there did. They shed their blood like water for Akbar and the Mughal Empire. But then all the cordial relations which existed between the Mughals and the Rajputs was spoiled by Aurangzeb. So what did Aurangzeb do? Let us understand that. Now, we have the kingdom of Marwar. So you have the kingdom of Marwar, and the capital of Marwar was Jodhpur. There was a commander under Shah Jahan. I remember, if you go back here, look at the War of Succession. I'll come back, just hold on. Look at the War of Succession which took place during the period of Shah Jahan. The civil war which took place. We have the Battle of Dharmat. You see this Battle of Dharmat on your screen? The Battle of Dharmat. So Aurangzeb and Murad Baksh, when they rebelled against Shah Jahan sent a Mughal army under the command of Raja Jaswant Singh, the king of Jodhpur, who was also a Mansabdar under Shah Jahan and the Mughals. So this is a story of Raja Jaswant Singh. So look here, what happened? Let's talk about it. So there was a officer in the Mughal army who was a Mansabdar, and he also happened to be simultaneously the king of Marwar with capital Jodhpur. His name was Raja Jaswant Singh. Raja Jaswant Singh. He was the king of Marwar and also a Mughal Mansabdar. So after Shah Jahan died, Raja Jaswant Singh also served Aurangzeb. And there was a revolt in the northwest. There was some tribal revolt in the northwest, and Aurangzeb sent a Mughal army under the command of Raja Jaswant Singh to put down that revolt. While putting down that revolt, unfortunately, Raja Jaswant Singh was killed. So Raja Jaswant Singh lost his life, and his queen became a widow. Obviously, became a widow. Her name was Rani Hadi. Rani Hadi. So she became a widow. But then, please understand, just after a few months after the death of Raja Jaswant Singh, Rani Hadi gave birth to a son, and he was named Ajit Singh. So the name of this son was Ajit Singh. So Ajit Singh, in other words, was the posthumous son of Jaswant Singh, born after the death of the father. Obviously, Rani Hadi was pregnant when Jaswant Singh was alive, and just after a few months after the death of Jaswant Singh, Rani Hadi gave birth to a son who was named Ajit Singh. Now, how did Aurangzeb spoil his relations with the Rajputs? Was spoil his relations with the Rajputs? Now, once Jaswant Singh died, Raja Jaswant Singh died, Aurangzeb wanted to appoint some other person as the king of Marwar, and that person was Inder Singh Rathore. Just know the story. You don't need to remember the details. This is just to put things in perspective. So we have a distant relative of Raja Jaswant Singh called Inder Singh Rathore. So Aurangzeb wanted Inder Singh Rathore to be the ruler of Marwar. At the same time, he brought Marwar under the Khalisa lands. Khalisa land means crown lands. So whatever, so Khalisa lands. He brought Marwar under the crown lands, and he refused to accept or refused to recognize Ajit Singh as the lawful ruler of Marwar. Did you understand whatever I'm just not told you? Who should be the ruler of Marwar later? Ajit Singh. But Aurangzeb refused to recognize Ajit Singh as the lawful ruler of Marwar. In fact, he questioned the paternity of this child, insulting and infuriating the Rathors. He questioned the paternity of this child. That is, tell me who is the real father of Ajit Singh? He was casting aspersions on the character of Rani Hadi, the queen of Raja Jaswant Singh. So it was an insult to the Rajputs. Did you understand whatever I just now told you? He questioned the paternity of this child, questioning the character of Rani Hadi. So infuriating the Rajputs. So what did Aurangzeb do? He put Rani Hadi and Ajit Singh under house arrest. So he put both of these, Rani Hadi and Ajit Singh were kept under house arrest. Right? So he named Inder Singh Rathore as his candidate to the throne of Marwar. He brought Marwar under the Khalisa lands or crown lands. So crown land means whatever is grown there, all those, it will be tax free. Everything will go to the emperor. So it's tax free and everything will go to the emperor. So he brought Marwar under the crown lands or Khalisa lands, and he had his own candidate to succeed Jaswant Singh, Raja Jaswant Singh, as the ruler of Marwar, that is Inder Singh Rathore. So here, please understand, Raja Jaswant Singh had a right-hand man. He had a very trusted servant, a right-hand man by name Durga Das. So this Durga Das fought against the Mughals. He released Rani Hadi and Ajit Singh from Mughal captivity. So he fought against the Mughals bravely, this Durga Das. Released Rani Hadi and Ajit Singh from Mughal captivity, and taking Rani Hadi and Ajit Singh, Durga Das ran towards Mewar. He ran towards Mewar. And we have the Sisodias of Mewar, the king of Mewar, the Sisodias. Who was the king of Mewar? Rana Raj Singh. Rana Raj Singh, the king of Mewar, supported Rani Hadi and Ajit Singh. So Marwar and Mewar had come together. They were ready to fight against Aurangzeb. Because here this was the self-respect and dignity of the Rajputs which was at stake. He had insulted Rani Hadi and thus the Rajputs. And therefore, Mewar was also supporting Marwar. So Marwar and Mewar were ready to fight against Aurangzeb. And Aurangzeb ordered one of his sons, Prince Akbar, to teach a lesson to the Rajputs. So he ordered his son, Prince Akbar. I'll use another page, another color. So he ordered Prince Akbar to take the Mughal army and fight against Marwar. So this is the development. Are you clear till here? These are the development. This is how he spoiled the relations with the Rajputs. And after all this, ultimately, he agreed to recognize Ajit Singh as the lawful ruler of Marwar. So when Marwar and Mewar were ready to fight, at last he agreed to recognize Ajit Singh as the lawful ruler of Marwar. And then this conflict with the Rajputs was avoided that way by Aurangzeb. But then the damage had been done. Whatever cordial relations existed between the Mughals and the Rajputs had been spoiled by Aurangzeb because of his arrogant and high-handed manner. Are you there with me, all of you? This is about how he spoiled his relations with the Rajputs. And Prince Akbar was ordered to take the Mughal army and attack Marwar and teach a lesson to the Rathors. But then Prince Akbar refused. Understand this. Prince Akbar refused to listen to his father. In fact, he told his father that you are the person who is responsible for this bad relations with the Rajputs. They were minding their business. You are the ones who interfered with their internal affairs. You insulted the Rani Hadi and also cast aspersions on her character. So Prince Akbar refused to take command of the Mughal army and attack Marwar. Thereupon, Aurangzeb ordered the arrest of Prince Akbar. So what happened is Prince Akbar ran to Marwar. He ran to the Rathors of Marwar, who gave them protection. So then Aurangzeb was very infuriated with his son as well as the Rathors. He sent a Mughal army against Marwar. But then the Rathors facilitated his escape. They did not give asylum to Prince Akbar. They allowed him to escape from there. And when the Mughal army came, they negotiated with the Mughal commander. They told the Mughal commander, after having raised a white flag, they said that Prince Akbar did come to their kingdom, but they have not given asylum to him or protection to him. We don't know where he has gone. Prince Akbar, having escaped from Jodhpur or Marwar, crossed the Vindhyas and came to South India. And Shivaji had died, and Shivaji's son Shambhaji was the Chhatrapati of the Marathas. And Prince Akbar sought shelter under Shambhaji, and Shambhaji gave him protection or asylum. And this angered Aurangzeb. And that resulted in Aurangzeb taking a huge army, crossing the Vindhyas and coming to South India to teach a lesson not only to his son Prince Akbar but also to the Marathas. And Prince Akbar ran away from India. He ran away towards Persia, and we don't hear of what happened to Prince Akbar after that. But having come to South India, Aurangzeb got caught in this fight with the Marathas. Okay, and this is called the Deccan Ulcer, which ultimately ruined Aurangzeb. No, there is a saying: the Spanish ulcer ruined Napoleon. The Deccan Ulcer ruined Aurangzeb. So here I begin my story of the Marathas with the story of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, and then I link Aurangzeb with Chhatrapati Shivaji. Am I there with you? Can I present my topic like that, my class like that? Yeah, you have a webinar. Okay, fine, Gunjan. When it is nearby, you let me know again. So let me start the story of the Marathas, and then I'll come back to Aurangzeb later. We're yet to discuss the questions and talk about other aspects of Aurangzeb's rule. So let us come to this great Maratha warrior, King Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Okay, I'll discuss the questions at the end of the Mughal chapter. I'll come back to Aurangzeb in some time. Just hold on. So let us talk about the Marathas and this fascinating personality in our history, medieval Indian history, called Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, who is considered to be a demigod in Maharashtra. So if you go to Maharashtra, he is considered to be a demigod, and and his name is taken with a lot of respect even now, and they swear by his name. So let's talk about the Marathas and the rise of the Marathas under this great king of theirs called Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. Yeah, this is the fusion time. Yeah, Ankush, we'll talk about it. So here, let me talk about the Marathas. Who are these Marathas? Who are the Marathas? So the Marathas are from this region called Marathwada. The Marathas are from this region called Marathwada. So what is the meaning of Marathwada? Geographically, it is this area where we have the Satpura and Vindhya mountains in the north. We have the Vindhya and Satpura mountains in the north. Then the Sahyadris, that is the Western Ghats. Sahyadris in the west, that is the Western Ghats in the west. And an undulating land, that is a land which is not plain. You have a lot of ups and downs. So in the east, we have this land from Nagpur to Goa. Nagpur to Goa. An undulating land. Undulating means ups and downs. So this is called Marathwada. This region called Marathwada was ruled from ancient times by a number of dynasties. Like, for example, we have the Shatavahanas. Shatavahanas ruled this area. Then we have the Vakatakas. Then the Rashtrakutas. The Kalyana Chalukyas, that is the Western Chalukya, or Kalyana Chalukyas, the Chalukyas of Kalyana Chalukyas. And of course, we have the Yadavas or the Sevanas, who ruled this area from ancient times and into medieval times. So the Marathwada region was ruled by all these dynasties. Now, till the 16th century, the Marathas served under the various Bahmani kingdoms like Bijapur and Golconda. They served under various civil and military capacities in the kingdoms of Bijapur and Golconda. And they rose in the 17th century under their great leader, Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. In the 17th century, they rose under him. Now, what is the reason for the rise of the Marathas? Let's understand this. What are the reasons for the rise of the Marathas? Reasons for the rise of the Marathas. Let's talk about that before we come to the topic proper. We have number one, the influence of the Bhakti saints of Maharashtra. We have the Bhakti saints of Maharashtra who spoke about social equality. Bhakti saints like Gnanadev, Gnanadeva, Eknath, Tukaram, etc., who spoke about social equality. This is number one. And of course, we have Shivaji's guru was Samarth Ramdas. Samarth Ramdas. Samarth Ramdas wrote a book called Dasa Bodha. In this book called Dasa Bodh, he spoke about karma marga, that is, do your duty, karma marga. He gave emphasis on karma marga, that is the path of duty. So this is number one. Number two is we have the economic equality amongst the Marathas. So the Marathas there was not much gap between the Marathas in terms of economic capacity. Almost everybody were of the same economic strata. So economically they were equal. There was not too much of difference between the poor and the rich man. So almost economically everybody was equal. That is number two. Number three is we have the Marathi language and dialect that gave unity to the Marathas. So they might have different dialects, but then they spoke one language. They spoke one language, that is Marathi, though the dialects might vary. So the Marathi language and dialect gave unity to the Marathas. It gave unity to the Marathas. Number four is, I'll use another page because I have run out of space here. Another reason, of course, is the geography of Maharashtra. The geography of Maharashtra, it's a plateau region. As you know, it's a plateau region. It's in the Deccan Plateau. And that made the geography of Maharashtra made the Marathas a hardy people. So it made them hardy. They had to toil day and night to eke out their living in that plateau region. So to draw water or to collect water, they have to come down the hills, to the base of the hill, collect water from the wells, and again climb up the mountains. So it became, nothing came easy for the Marathas. So they became hardy. They had to toil hard to eke out their existence. So that they made them very strong and hardy people, and also means justified the ends. Means justified ends. What means they adopt did not matter. For them, end was important because they were surrounded by enemies. You see, we have the Bahmani kingdoms. If you say this is Maharashtra, if this is the area where the Marathas were ruling, the small area, we have the Bahmani sultans. You have the Bahmani sultans here. Bijapur, Golconda, Ahmednagar, Bidar, Birar. So there were 5 Bahmani sultans. The Bahmani kingdom was established in 1347 by Hassan Gangu. We have looked at it, during the time of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and with Gulbarga as capital. And later this Bahmani kingdom got divided into 5 parts: Bijapur, Golconda, Bidar, Birar, and Ahmednagar. So along with these Bahmani kingdoms, we also had the Mughals. Mughals were also having their subas in the Deccan. And Marathas had to contend with all these powerful adversaries. And they had to, somehow survive in such a hostile environment and also thrive. And therefore, for them, what was important was the end. The means they adopted did not matter because they had much more powerful enemies to contend with. So the geography of Maharashtra made them a very hardy folk, hardworking, hardy, and also strong. Then, of course, we have the guerrilla warfare, which the Marathas engaged in. That is hit and run tactics. Well, I'll come to that in some time. You see, when Shivaji started his career, he did not have the manpower or the money power. He did not have the money with him, neither did he have the manpower to contend with such powerful adversaries. So therefore, his army, his soldiers went in small attachments, in small batches. They were heavily armed and they were very very mobile, and they knew the jungle routes, the jungles and the mountainous areas. So they will make a lightning strike on the Bijapur army or the on the Mughal army, which were generally slack and slow, and then they'll loot everything. They'll loot the provisions, the arms, weapons, etc., and they'll run into the hide into the mountainous forts. So if you look at the terrain of Maharashtra, full of hills and hillocks, and and recently one more thing is, this topic is important because uh, we have the hill forts of Maharashtra, which is India's entry for the year 2023-24 into the UNESCO World Heritage List. So India has presented the forts, the hill forts of Maharashtra has its entry to UNESCO World Heritage List, and therefore this topic becomes very very important from your exam point of view, prelims or mains or both. Okay, so because we have so many types of forts, hill forts, hill forest forts, coastal forts, etc. So I think in one of the webinars this was covered. This topic of hill forts of Maharashtra was covered. Some of you might have attended that webinar. I did not handle that webinar part, but then this topic becomes relevant for that reason. Did you understand? So you have guerrilla warfare, which was engaged in by the Marathas. We'll talk about guerrilla warfare in some time. So the Marathas learned the technique of guerrilla warfare from Malik Ambar. Malik Ambar, who was the minister of Ahmednagar, he fought against the Mughals. Mughals had a much more powerful army than Ahmednagar's army. So therefore, they were not able to match the Mughal army in terms of size. But then uh, that's why they engaged, Malik Ambar engaged in guerrilla warfare. The Marathas learned the techniques of guerrilla warfare from Malik Ambar, and of course, Shivaji Maharaj improved, the guerrilla techniques of warfare. So all these made the Marathas very, very hardy and successful in defending those in that area. And of course, Shivaji established this kingdom called Swarajya. So he called his kingdom as Swarajya. These are the various reasons for the rise of the Marathas: the Bhakti saints, the inspiration given by the Bhakti saints, the social equality they spoke about, the economic equality of the Marathas, Maratha language and dialect which gave unity to the Marathas, and of course the geography of Maharashtra, which made the Marathas hardworking and hardy people, the guerrilla techniques of warfare, and of course one more thing is the Deccan Plateau. The Deccan Plateau and the forts which the Marathas built on top of those plateau regions. These forts had a very acute angle, almost 60 degrees, 780-degree approach angle. So only the Marathas could walk on those forts. If you go on YouTube, just go on YouTube in your leisure time and type hill forts of Maharashtra, hill forts of Maharashtra, hill forts of Maharashtra, right? And you'll get some videos. These are all also popular trekking points in Maharashtra. Avid trekkers, they try to climb these hill forts, and you'll be shocked at the angle in which these forts were built. It was very difficult for an enemy to chase the Marathas because one wrong step and that person is down. But Marathas used to climb these forts every day. It was like their backyard. So they were used to climbing these forts up and down, and they used to use guerrilla techniques of warfare. We'll talk about it later. So it was at a great cost that the enemy had to risk in chasing these Marathas, because once they have looted the Mughals or the Bijapur army, they'll take their weapons, provisions, etc., and hide in those hill forts. And either you leave the Marathas or you chase them. And if you chase them, it was at a great cost because the Marathas made them pay. It was difficult to climb those forts because of the approach angle in which they were built. At the same time, from top, the Marathas will throw huge boulders. They will throw trunks of trees. They also threw hot boiling oil on the enemy soldiers. So it was very difficult to conquer these forts, let alone defeat the Marathas in their techniques of warfare. That is guerrilla techniques of warfare. So we'll talk about it, right? So let's talk about Shivaji. So before that, so these are the reasons for the rise of Marathas. Now, who was Shivaji? Now, Shivaji's father, rather Shivaji's grandfather, was a man called Maloji. So Maloji was the grandfather of Shivaji. He served under the Ahmednagar Sultanate. So, and Maloji's son was Shaji Bhosle. So Maloji and Shaji served loyally the kingdom of Ahmednagar. And the Sultan of Ahmednagar was very, very happy with the services rendered by Maloji. He was a military officer under the Ahmednagar Sultanate. And therefore, the Sultan of Ahmednagar gave these areas as a reward to Maloji. That is Pune, Supa, Chakan, and Indapur. These areas were given away as a jagir by the king of Ahmednagar, and also for the residential purpose of Maloji's family. You have the fort of Shivneri. The fort of Shivneri was given away. The fort of Shivneri was given away for the residential purpose of Moloji by the Shah, by the king of Ahmednagar. Now, as you all know, in the year 1633, Emperor Shah Jahan conquered Ahmednagar. So that's where he got the title. He initially forced Ahmednagar to sign a peace treaty, and that's where he got the title of Shah Jahan. Khurram became Shah Jahan. But in 1633, after he became emperor, Emperor Shah Jahan conquered Ahmednagar. And Maloji and Shahji became jobless because Ahmednagar was now a part of the Mughal Empire. So therefore, we have Maloji and Shahji petitioning the king of Bijapur. They came to Bijapur, another Bahmani kingdom. And who was the ruler of the Bijapur? The Adil Shahis. This was a dynasty which ruled Bijapur. The Adil Shahis of Bijapur. So they sought employment under the Bijapur king. Okay, so once Maloji died, Shahji served the Bijapur Sultan, Adil Shah Sultan of Bijapur, and Pune was his ancestral Jagir. He had bequeathed Pune from his father Maloji. Now, Shahji's wife was Jijabai. His first wife was Jijabai. So Shahji Bhosle's first wife was Jijabai, and Shivaji happened to be their sixth child. Shivaji happened to be the sixth child of Shahji Bhosle and Jijabai, sixth child of theirs. Now, when Shahji Bhosle was serving the Bijapur Adil Shah Sultan, the Bijapur Sultan gave away Bangalore, the capital of Karnataka. Bangalore has a jagir to Shahji Bhosle. So Bangalore was given away as a jagir to Shahji Bhosle. So what did Shahji Bhosle do? He came away to Bangalore and he was living in Bangalore. So Shahji Bhosle, Shivaji's father, was living in Bangalore, and he entrusted the responsibility of running the Jagir of Pune to his wife Jijabai and a trusted officer called Dadaji Kondadev. So Shahji Bhosle, he appointed an officer called Dadaji Kondadev. Dadaji Kondadev to take care of the Jagir of Pune. That was his ancestral Jagir. And this was the man, Dadaji Kondadev. He was an officer in Bijapur court who served Shahji Bhosle very loyally. And he was the one who gave military training to Shivaji. Now, when Shahji Bhosle was in Bangalore, he married a second wife. And her name was Tukabai Mohite. Tukabai Mohite. Now, you see, Generally, the second wife is younger than the first wife. Mostly, almost 90%, 99% of the time, second wife is younger than the first wife, and therefore more gorgeous, more beautiful. So Shahji Bhosle began to neglect his first wife, Jijabai. He was in Bangalore with his second wife, and also he had his eldest son, Shambhaji. His eldest son was Shambhaji. So he was staying with his eldest son, Shambhaji, and Tukabai Mohite, his second wife. And he began to neglect Jijabai, his first wife. But Jijabai was a very strong-willed lady. She did not care much for her husband. She totally focused on the upbringing of her child, Shivaji. And when Shivaji came of age, when he was a teenage boy, and slowly, you have a mother guiding him, and she used to narrate stories from the Ramayana, Mahabharata, the Puranas, etc. And he was the one, and she was the one who inspired Shivaji. So when Shivaji came of age, he had two ambitions. One was to safeguard Hinduism. He wanted to Hinduism, safeguard Hinduism, and secondly, to organize the Marathas into a kingdom. He wanted a Maratha kingdom. He wanted to organize a Maratha kingdom. So these are the two ambitions of Shivaji. So this is the introduction to this topic called Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and the Marathas. Are you there with me, all of you? Can I continue the story? This is the introduction to this topic. A very fascinating personality. If you hear the stories of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, you feel, is this true? Because and it is historically true simply because we have so many documented evidences about Shivaji and his administration, his exploits, his conquests, etc. We have even Rajput sources which give us a lot of information about this Maratha king and a Maratha warrior king. And he is among the three great lions of Indian history. In Indian history, we have three lions. There are only three lions. Who are the three lions, traditional lions of Indian history? Three traditional lions. Three traditional lions of Indian history. So, who are these three traditional lions? Number one is, of course, the great Rana Pratap of Mewar, who fought the Battle of Haldigati against Akbar's forces. So, Rana Pratap of Mewar is number one. Number two is, of course, Chhatrapati Shivaji. And number three, and the last is Maharaja Ranjit Singh Ji. Maharaja Ranjit Singh, who covered the Harmandir Sahib in gold, and he is called the Lion of Punjab, the Napoleon of the East, Sarkar Khalsa Ji, the Lord of Five Rivers, etc. Maharaja Ranjit Singh, who had the second strongest army in Asia after that of the English East India Company. Maharaja Ranjit Singh, till he was there, the British dared not conquer Punjab. But when he died in 1839, within 10 years they conquered Punjab. But till he was there, they did not dare to conquer Punjab. Because he had a very, very powerful and he was also a very strong ruler. So these are the three traditional lions of Indian history. Okay, we'll come back here. So Shivaji is one among them, right? So let's talk about it. So he was born at Shivaneri. This is a Shivaneri fort you can see here. This is in Pune district near Junnar. He was born to Shahji Bhosle and Jijabai, I told you. He was the sixth child of theirs. He was born in the year 1627. And when he was 10 years old, in 1637, he inherited the Jagir of Pune from his father. So he inherited the Jagir of Pune from his father. And when he was about 18 years old, understand this, when he was about an 18-year-old boy, Shivaji had a small militia. So who are these soldiers in his militia? These were the lower class farmers. So in the agricultural season, they will do agriculture. In the non-agricultural season, they'll join hands with Shivaji. They'll join his the small militia, and they will raid into neighboring forts. And these forts belong to the border areas of the Bijapuri kingdom. Understand this. These forts belong to the border areas of the Bijapuri kingdom. So when Shivaji was about 16 years old, when he was just 16 years old, he conquered this Bijapur fort called Torna. And this is the beginning of the construction of the Maratha Empire. So Shivaji began to construct the Maratha Empire from Torna. So Torna was under the Bijapur Sultan. When he was just 16 years old, he conquered Torna. And then he also conquered Pratapgarh and Raigad. Raigad and Pratapgarh forts from Bijapur. You can see here, this is the Torna fort. So this is the beginning of Maratha Empire. When he conquers Torna fort, then we have Pratapgarh fort and then the Raigad fort. And look at the background here. Look at the background, the Western Ghats, the Satpura Vindhya mountains, the terrain of Maharashtra. So very difficult. If you go to Mahabaleshwar side, Pune, Lonavala, Mahabaleshwar side, you see the Deccan Plateau and the hills and hill forts of Maharashtra. By the time Shivaji died, he had 240 forts, and it was very difficult to conquer these forts for an enemy. We'll talk about it in some time. Just hold on. So when he was about 18 years old, he conquers all these forts. The first conquest was Torna. And please remember, his father was serving in the Bijapuri kingdom as an officer, as a military officer. And here we have Shaji Bhosle's son, who had conquered a few forts from the Bijapur Sultan. Right? Then in 1647, when he was about 20 years old, his guardian died. Dadaji Kondadev died. And Shivaji began to take care of the affairs of his father's Jagir. He was in full charge of his Jagir at Pune. Now, the Bijapur Sultan came to know about this. The Bijapur Sultan came to know that it was Shaji Bhosle's son, Shivaji, who was responsible for the loss of these forts, Torna, Pratapgarh, Raigad. And immediately the Bijapur Sultan ordered the arrest of his father. He was put under house arrest. Shaji Bhosle was put under house arrest for 6 years, 1649 to 55. What was the reason why the Bijapur Sultan put his father into house arrest? Simply because so that Shivaji is contained. Otherwise, Shivaji might continue to conquer the forts of Bijapur. So therefore, to contain Shivaji, he got his father arrested. And his father, before the Bijapur Sultan, pleaded and told the Bijapur Sultan, I have no control over my son. So there's no point in punishing me. You can do whatever you feel is right to bring Shivaji, to control Shivaji. Because as a father, I cannot control him. I am happily married and settled in Bangalore with my second wife. And my son he's on his own, and I have no control over him. That's what Shaji Bhosle pleaded, but even then, he was kept under house arrest by the Bijapur Sultan. And though Shivaji's mother had been neglected by his father, Shivaji had great respect for his father. And his mother also advised him not to conquer any forts of Bijapur, otherwise his father's life may be in danger. Now, Shivaji conquers this area called Mavla. So he conquers Javli from this person called Chanda Rao More. And the Mavla foot soldiers came under his control. So you can see here, I have put a photo or a picture of the Mavla foot soldier. These are the Mavlas, adept at jungle warfare and guerrilla warfare. So, they used to use the monitor lizard. You can see here on your screen, I put a picture of a monitor lizard. So this is the picture of a monitor lizard on your screen. So they used to use the monitor lizard to climb forts. A monitor lizard is a very huge lizard. And it weighs about 45 kgs. The fully grown monitor lizard, and it has got very strong grip. So these Mavlas used to tame and keep a monitor lizard with them. And what they used to do is they will tie a rope to one end of the tummy of the monitor lizard, and the other end of the rope is tied to a young boy, as young as about 8 to 10 years old, who's very, very light. So the other end of the rope is tied to the belly of or the waist of that boy. And what they'll do is they'll release the monitor lizard onto the fort wall. So let us say this is a mountain. It's a mountain area. Okay, there's a mountain, and top of this mountain there's a fort. It is difficult to climb this fort because of the angle in which this mountain is or the fort is. So what they'll do is they will release the monitor lizard, and the monitor lizard starts climbing this mountain or the fort wall, and the boy behind will climb along with the lizard, and he'll have a separate rope with him, a small, thin rope with him, which he has carried. And once the monitor lizard reaches the top, this boy will hide somewhere there, without he will climb obviously without the notice of the enemy soldiers. And once the enemy soldiers are slack, let's say somebody has gone to answer nature's call or he's gone away to eat his food or something like that, this boy who has got a separate rope with him, he will slither down. He will, slither down from the other end of the fort, and he'll open the gates of the fort. That's the only way to enter these forts. And I told you, requested you to look at the videos of the hill forts of Maharashtra. You have some videos, 5-10 minutes, um, you know, Rajgarh, Raigarh, Simhagarh. So many forts are there, and Garh in Marathi language is a fort. So this is the only approach angle. So here the Mawla foot soldiers came under his control, right? And what happened is, by this time, Shivaji's small kingdom began to expand towards the western sea coast. So his kingdom now was touching the western sea coast. Okay, so west coast of India, Arabian Sea. So that resulted in Shivaji, having an agreement with the Portuguese. He met the Portuguese and he had a talk with them, and with their knowledge, he organized a navy. He organized a navy, and at the peak of his naval acquisitions, he had about 140 to 160 ships with him. So you can understand the far-sightedness or the foresight of Shivaji. The Mughals, had a very powerful army, but they lacked a navy. And we have Europeans in the waters of India, around the waters of India. Europeans were already there. So Shivaji found it necessary to have a navy for that reason. At the same time, he constructed the great forts. These are called, marvels of rock engineering. Marvels of naval rock engineering. So he built the forts of Kalyan, Bhivandi, Sindhudurg, Kolaba, Vijayadurg. So these are the various forts built by him: Kalyan, Bhivandi, Sindhudurg, Kolaba, Vijayadurg, etc. And Sindhudurg became the headquarters of the Maratha Navy. Sindhudurg became the headquarters of the Maratha Navy. I've given you a small note at the end of this topic about Maratha Navy. He had different types of ships of various sizes. Then you have Kanhoji Angre. Kanhoji Angre was made the head of the Maratha Navy. He also requisitioned the services of a Portuguese naval commander called Rui Leto Vigas. So Rui Vigas was also temporarily the head of the Maratha Navy, but it was finally under the control of Kanhoji Angre. And some time back, the Prime Minister of India also called Shivaji as the father of Indian Navy. So because of all these reasons, Marathas, Shivaji, his navy, somewhere in current affairs it might come, including the hill forts of Maharashtra. So I anticipate some questions from this topic in the prelims, or in the mains, or in both. So therefore, make a thorough study of Maratha history, including that of Shivaji. And what happened to the Marathas after the death of Shivaji also, I'll briefly talk about it. And the rise of the Peshwas, how the Peshwas come to limelight. So once he conquers Javli, the Maratha foot so the you know the you know the Mawla foot soldiers came under the control of Shivaji, and he was able to build these beautiful forts on the west coast of India. And Sindhudurg became the headquarters of the Maratha Navy. Now Shivaji was expanding at the cost of the Bijapur Sultan. The Bijapur Sultan was still a young boy. His name was Ali Adil Shah II. Sultan Ali Adil Shah II. So his mother was acting as the regent. Regent means representative. So the queen mother of Bijapur ordered Afzal Khan, the commander of the Bijapuri forces, to control the depredations of Shivaji. Shivaji was expanding rapidly at the cost of Bijapur Sultan, and therefore Shivaji had to be controlled. So bring him dead or alive. And this responsibility was entrusted to this Bijapur Sultan, Bijapur commander called Afzal Khan. Okay, so Afzal Khan was given this responsibility. So are you there with me, all of you? Are you there? So Mawala foot soldiers, they were adapted guerrilla warfare, jungle warfare, Bhimre. All of you are there with me? Can I continue the story? Okay, now look here. Now Afzal Khan understood that it is very difficult to defeat Shivaji in these mountain fastnesses. He was the one who called Shivaji as a mountain rat. So Afzal Khan is the person who called Shivaji as a mountain rat, Afzal Khan. So he understood that it is difficult to defeat and kill Shivaji in these mountains. So therefore, Shivaji had to be lured out. So through deceit, through smartness, Shivaji should be lured out of his mountainous areas. And once he's on the plain land, Shivaji can be finished. His army can also be defeated. So this was the plan of Afzal Khan. So what did Afzal Khan do? He sent one Brahmin ambassador by name Krishnaji Bhaskar. So Krishnaji Bhaskar was a Brahmin ambassador who was sent by Afzal Khan to the court of Shivaji. So with a particular message. What was the message brought by Krishnaji Bhaskar from Afzal Khan? That whatever differences are there between Shivaji and Bijapur should be solved amicably. There should be no war involved. So 3 people from Shivaji's side will come and 3 people from Afzal Khan's side will come. No armies will be involved. And whatever differences they are having between them, that should be solved over a table through discussions. This is the message brought by Krishnaji Bhaskar to Shivaji. And Shivaji is supposed to have laughed at him, because Afzal Khan was not a trustworthy person. Everybody knew about Afzal Khan and his background. So therefore, Shivaji, laughed at Krishnaji Bhaskar when Krishnaji Bhaskar conveyed the news brought by Afzal Khan, news sent by Afzal Khan. And then Shivaji is supposed to have played the emotional card. This particular meeting happened in the Tulja Bhavani temple. Tulja Bhavani was the family goddess of Shivaji. So he was sitting in that temple, and Krishnaji Bhaskar, a Brahmin, came to meet him and convey the news sent by Afzal Khan. So Shivaji accused Krishnaji Bhaskar of lying before the goddess. You're sitting in the temple and lying before the goddess. So tell me, what is the intention of Afzal Khan? So Krishnaji Bhaskar is supposed to have replied to Shivaji, I'm only an ambassador. I'm only a messenger. I'm supposed to only convey the message. Therefore, what I can tell you is that Afzal Khan means mischief. His intentions are questionable. That's what I can tell you. Beyond that, don't make me open my mouth. That's what Krishnaji Bhaskar replied to Shivaji, and Shivaji got the hint. And Shivaji told Krishnaji Bhaskar that he will comply to that message sent by Afzal Khan. He'll come with 3 people, he'll come, not to worry. And it was still a few weeks away before the meeting took place. Now, Shivaji got ready for meeting Afzal Khan. And Afzal Khan, according to sources, was a very huge man, a Pathan, about 6.5 feet in height, huge built man. And Shivaji was puny, if Shivaji was like Tendulkar, Sachin Tendulkar cricketer, this Afzal Khan was like Chris Gale, tall and huge built. So there was a difference in height and difference in weight, in strength, etc. So Shivaji is supposed to have wrestled with an equally built Maratha officer or a Maratha soldier, which he identified in the army, and he wrestled for a few weeks, some time, and then he got prepared for this meeting. So on the day of the meeting, he got prepared. He wore his metal armor, metal bodyguard, metal body armor with a metal helmet on top of which he put his turban. And then you have a dagger and a sword which he carried. And then we have the bichwa, what is called the Vagnak in Marathi language. Vag is a tiger claw. You can see here on your screen. I put a picture. See this? This is called tiger claw. This is called tiger claw. And how do you use it? You use it like that in a picture below it. So he hid that in his armor. And then he told 2 of his commanders. I mentioned it here. 3 of his commanders. Moro Trimbak Pingle, Netaji Palkar. So 2 of his commanders, Gopinath Pant. So Gopinath Pant, Moro Trimbak Pingle, Netaji Palkar. So he told these 3 commanders of his to take his army through the jungle route. The Marathas knew the secret routes within the forest and in the Western Ghats. So he told them, you take the jungle route and be very near to the camp where the meeting is going to take place, and you wait for my signal. So accordingly, his commanders took his army through the jungle route, and they were waiting for Shivaji's signal. And Shivaji goes there with 2 of his expert swordsmen. One was Jiva Mahala, and the other is Shambhuji Kauji. They were expert swordsmen and the bodyguards of Shivaji. So he goes along with them. And then this Afzal Khan also had come there, already waiting in the tent with his bodyguard, Sayyid Banda. So Sayyid Banda was the bodyguard of Afzal Khan. And Afzal Khan had stationed his army behind the mountains. What had he told through Krishnaji Bhaskar, that no army should be involved. But then he was known for his cheating, and he had stationed the Bijapuri army behind the mountains, and they were waiting for his signal. So when the day of the meeting came, Afzal Khan was already there in the tent with his expert swordsman Sayyid Banda, and Shivaji goes there. Now, in those days, nowadays we shake hands when we want to greet somebody. Those days, embrace was the way of greeting. They used to embrace, like Muslims embrace, during Eid and all that. Like that, they used to embrace. So here, I believe Afzal Khan is supposed to have held his hands when he saw Shivaji. Shivaji was much shorter in height when compared to Afzal Khan. So Shivaji slowly makes his way to meet Afzal Khan, and then he embraced Afzal Khan embraced Shivaji. So when he embraced him with his one hand, he held Shivaji tightly because he was a very strong built man. So he held Shivaji with one of his hands, and he took his dagger and he poked Shivaji. He made a he stabbed Shivaji in the back, but Shivaji was wearing his body armor, so that body armor protected Shivaji. That's the time Shivaji used his Vagnak. So you can see here, this is the Vagnak. So he put his hands, fingers into the Vagnak, and however strong a person is, his belly portion is weak. It is full of flesh and muscles. So Shivaji, he pierced into the belly portion of Afzal Khan, and he, took out his intestines. He tore open his stomach literally. So Afzal Khan was shocked because suddenly he sees his hip portion, his stomach, uh, all the intestines are protruding out, the blood is gushing out, and he was in a severe pain. He was confused. He let go of Shivaji's grip. And that's the time when Said Banda is supposed to have taken his sword and made a swish at Shivaji. So he struck Shivaji. But then by that time, we have Jiva Mahala, Shivaji's bodyguard, who cut off the wrist of Said Banda. We are told that Jiva Mahala, if he had not done this, Shivaji would have got killed by Sayyid Banda, the bodyguard of Afzal Khan. And even now, Jiva Mahala is praised in Marathi language in a number of songs and ballads. So then Shivaji gave a signal. So and his soldiers came out of the jungle, and then there was a battle which was fought. This is called the Battle of Pratapgarh. In this Battle of Pratapgarh, the Bijapuri army was defeated by Shivaji, right? And this news reaches Aurangzeb. Did you understand? This is the story of how Afzal Khan was killed. And please understand, Afzal Khan had 63 wives. Understand this? Afzal Khan had 63 wives. And what happened is he had recently married his 63rd wife, young girl. And that girl had a premonition. Before Afzal Khan went away to fight against Shivaji, she had a sixth sense, a premonition, and she is supposed to have told her husband, Afzal Khan, don't go to fight because I feel that you'll be killed. You'll get killed in this war. And this made Afzal Khan very, very angry with not only his 63rd wife, but with all his wives. So what he did is he killed all his 62 wives. He killed all his 62 wives, and the 63rd wife escaped. If you go to Bijapur in Karnataka, in Bijapur, on the outskirts of Bijapur, there is a grave where all the 62 wives of Afzal Khan have been buried next to each other. It is there on YouTube also. You can just type graves of Afzal Khan's wives. You'll get the YouTube. You'll be surprised. So that's the type of man he was. Now Afzal Khan was killed. Bijapuri army was defeated in the Battle of Pratapgarh, and this news reached Aurangzeb. Are you there with me? This is where I'm getting the connection. Hello, are you there with me, all of you? See, I don't know how else to present history because this takes a lot of time. And I tell you stories that takes away a lot of time. And that also explains why I'm a little slow in my class. I could have easily, told he killed Afzal Khan and I would have gone to other sections of the syllabus. But then it is taking away a lot of time. But then I don't know how you are taking it, how you people are taking it. But that's how I present my story. My history has a story. Can I continue? Okay, now look here. Now this news. Okay, so here now, what is the reason why he killed his wife Bhimare? The reason is if Afzal Khan gets killed, then other people might marry his wives. He did not want anybody else to marry or have relationship with his wives, and therefore he killed all of them except the 63rd who escaped. Okay, I think it's called Sat Kabar. Sat Kabar. It's called Sat Kabar. No, Sat Kabar in Bijapur. In Bijapur, it is there even now. Okay, now look here. This news reaches Aurangzeb. The defeat of the Bijapur army reaches Aurangzeb. And Aurangzeb had, the Mughals had the Subas, provinces in the Deccan. And Aurangzeb felt that if Shivaji is allowed to continue like this, he might later threaten the Mughal Subas or Mughal provinces also. So Shivaji had to be contained, controlled. So what did Aurangzeb do? Aurangzeb sent his maternal uncle, his mother's brother, Aurangzeb's mother's brother, Shaista Khan, to teach a lesson to Shivaji. So with a huge Mughal army, Shaista Khan comes to South India. He crosses the Vindhyas and comes to South India and he conquers Pune. Pune is conquered by Shaista Khan, the ancestral Jagir of Shivaji. And what does Shaista Khan do? He begins to follow what is called scorched earth policy. Scorched earth policy. What is a scorched earth policy? He begins to burn the standing crops. Whatever grains have been stored by the Marathas, he sets them on fire. Standing crops which are ready for harvest are set on fire. Wells are poisoned so that there's no water for the Marathas to drink, and fodder for the soldiers, fodder for the horses, and food for the soldiers. So he starts doing this and he begins to conquer one fort after another fort. One fort and after another fort, he begins to conquer from Shivaji. And Shivaji's condition becomes very, very precarious, very, very serious. Because if Shaista Khan is allowed to do this, if he continues to do this, he will finish off the Marathas and Shivaji. And something had to be done and done quickly. So what does Shivaji do? So Shivaji with his few commanders, they have a meeting. And then they plan an attack on Pune. Let us attack the Mughal camp in Pune. That's a plan they have agreed upon. And how to attack is the question, because this was heavily guarded. It was heavily guarded by the Mughals. Okay, all the four directions they have guarded, and you have the Mughal army within the Mughal camp. And Mughal army was like a floating city, thousands and lakhs of soldiers with messieurs, dancers, cooks, okay, etc. So entertainers. So all these will go along with the Mughal soldiers. So it was heavily guarded. So here, about 600 to 700, understand this, about 600 to 700 Marathas dress themselves like a marriage party, like a bridegroom's party. You even have women here. Even Maratha women are part of this 600 to 700 soldiers, Maratha soldiers, dress themselves or disguise themselves as a marriage party, including Shivaji. And you can call this like a suicide squad. They don't know what's going to happen, but they have dressed themselves like a marriage party. They have concealed their weapons in bullock carts, and there is a fake bridegroom sitting on the horse, and with band baja barat, with the band, marriage band, barat, procession, where you have a bridegroom's barat, and with all the music, it should look very real. So they come with all these accompaniments to the main gate of Pune, to the main gate of Pune fort, and they say that this is we are from the bridegroom side, and there's a marriage inside, and therefore they should be allowed to go into the fort of Pune. So the Mughal soldiers checked the Marathas, including the women. They're all frisked, checked. Their bullock carts are checked. They have beautifully concealed their weapons. Now, when nothing is found, the gates are opened, and this 600 to 700 Marathas, who are actually soldiers, including Shivaji, they enter the fort of Pune, and the fort is closed. The door is closed. So, with their music, etc., they approach the Mughal camp. And when they're very near to the Mughal camp, whatever weapons they had concealed, they remove those weapons. And then there is a lightning strike made by Shivaji and his soldiers on the Mughal camp. We are told that Shaista Khan was busy with the women in the harem. So he was with the women in the harem, Shaista Khan. Shivaji took a swipe with his sword. He made a swipe with his sword, and he cut away some of the fingers of Shaista Khan. You can see this picture here, painting here. Shivaji's attack on Shaista Khan's camp, and here Shaista Khan barely managed to escape. But he lost a few fingers of one of his hands, and he jumped out. He escaped from Shivaji's blade. And you see the women of the harem are also in shock. So the Marathas do some damage here inside the Mughal camp, and they escape. This news reaches Aurangzeb, and he was very, very angry with his uncle Shaista Khan. So he recalled Shaista Khan. He recalled Shaista Khan from Pune, and in place of Shaista Khan, he appointed Raja Jai Singh, the king of Amer, present-day Jaipur or Amer, as the commander. And Shaista Khan was sent away to far away Bengal as a punishment post. Shaista Khan, Aurangzeb's maternal uncle, wanted to meet Aurangzeb and explain to him, but Aurangzeb was not prepared to even interview him or give a look at his face. So he was sent away to Bengal as a punishment post. And Aurangzeb, this was a defeat for the Mughal emperor, because here Aurangzeb, Shivaji had entered the Mughal camp and done all this damage. So he was not going to take these things lying down, the Mughal emperor Aurangzeb. So he sent Jai Singh, the king of Amer or Jaipur, to teach a lesson to Shivaji. So Jai Singh took control of the Mughal army, command of the Mughal army, and he fought against Shivaji. And then Shivaji had 35 forts. Out of the 35 forts, 23 forts were conquered by Raja Jai Singh, who was a Mansabdar in the court of Aurangzeb. And Shivaji was forced to sign the Treaty of Purandar. You can see here, this is the Treaty of Purandar, 1665. This was in 1665. Out of 35 forts of Shivaji, at that point in time, Shivaji had 35 forts under his control. 23 forts were conquered by Jai Singh. And Shivaji was forced to sign the Treaty of Purandar. So you can see here, Shivaji is meeting Jai Singh in this Treaty of Purandar. And we have Rajput sources. Rajput literary sources are there which talk about Shivaji. They extensively write about Shivaji, the persona of Shivaji, everything about Shivaji they write, whatever personality he was, his build, the way he spoke, etc., etc., and also his achievements. Now, in this Treaty of Purandar, what are the terms of the Treaty of Purandar? Understand this, the terms of the Treaty of Purandar. Shivaji had to surrender 23 of his forts. These 23, out of his 35 forts, 23 forts. These 23 forts yielded a revenue of 4 lakh Huns per year. Huns is gold coins. These 23 forts yielded a revenue of 4 lakh Huns per year. And out of the remaining 12 forts, so remaining 12 forts were to remain with Shivaji, and those 12 forts yielded a revenue of 1 lakh Huns per year. So Shivaji lost 23 of its forts. Then the Mughals recognized certain areas of the Bijapuri kingdom has Shivaji's area of influence. So Mughals are, in other words, telling Shivaji, you don't attack our provinces in the south, you can attack Bijapuri areas. So Mughals recognize Shivaji's right to certain parts of the Bijapuri kingdom. So here, what the Mughals are doing is, they are instigating Shivaji to attack Bijapuri kingdom, not their own provinces. So, and who are the Mughals to give license to Shivaji to attack Bijapuri kingdom? So you can understand here, they were trying to safeguard their own provinces from Shivaji's attacks. So they gave license to Shivaji to attack Bijapuri kingdom. Third, territory in the Bijapuri conquered. So that is those areas of Konkan, that is Western Sea coast, near Goa, that is Konkan area, as you know. So those areas which were earlier part of the Bijapuri kingdom, yielding a revenue of 4 lakh Huns, and Bijapuri territory in the Balaghats were granted to Shivaji, yielding a revenue of 5 lakh Huns. So territory in Bijapuri conquered, and Bijapuri territory in the highland areas, in upland areas, were given away to Shivaji. Shivaji had to pay 40 lakh Huns installment. Per year, he has to pay 40 lakh Huns as installment to the Mughals. And Shivaji's son, Shambhaji, eldest son of Shivaji, was given a mansab of 5,000. These are the terms of the Treaty of Purandar. And please understand, Raja Jai Singh was a great admirer of Shivaji. So when he had a talk with Shivaji, he told Shivaji, please go to Agra. I request you, please go to Agra, meet Emperor Aurangzeb. And please understand, Jai Singh had his own plans with respect to the Marathas and Shivaji. What was Jai Singh's plan? Jai Singh's plan was to get Shivaji and the Marathas into the Mughal administration. If Shivaji becomes a Mansabdar and joins the Mughal administration, Jai Singh felt that it will add to the strength of the Mughals. They can use the strength of the Marathas to expand the Mughal empire in the south, further in the south. This was the plan of Jai Singh. So he convinced Shivaji and told Shivaji, you please go to Agra, meet the Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb, and join the Mughal administration as a Mansabdar. So Shivaji was surprised when this proposal was made by Jai Singh. He told Jai Singh on his face that if I go to Agra, Emperor Aurangzeb is going to arrest me and even order my execution. So therefore, I cannot take that risk. But then Jai Singh convinced Shivaji. He told him, my son Ram Singh will come along with you. My son Ram Singh will come along with you. Nothing will happen to you. You can count the word of a Rajput. So when a Rajput gives his word, they are prepared to even give their life for keeping that word. So those days Rajputs were like that. So Shivaji was convinced by Jai Singh like this, and Shivaji agreed to go and meet Aurangzeb. And he had to carry gifts to the Mughal emperor. That was a tradition in the Mughal court, that you cannot go freely and meet the Mughal emperor. You're supposed to carry nazar or gifts. So Shivaji took all those gifts, and along with his son Shambhaji, he goes all the way to Agra to meet the Mughal emperor. What happened in the Mughal court? You see, she, uh, there was a protocol to be maintained. What is a protocol? According to your seniority, you will be made to stand before the Mughal emperor in the court. If you're a senior officer, you'll be standing or sitting very close to the Mughal emperor. And if you're a junior officer with a less mansab, you'll be made to stand far away. So Shivaji's son, Shambhaji, had been given a mansab of 5,000 zat. Shivaji was also given the same rank, 5,000 zat, and he was made to stand far away. Now, in the Mughal court, you are not supposed to speak unless you are asked to be spoken by the Mughal emperor. And once you are asked to speak, you are supposed to speak softly. Once you have spoken, of course, you are supposed to give gifts to the emperor. And then once you have spoken to the emperor, you are not supposed to show your back to the emperor. You are supposed to come back the way you have walked up to the emperor, without showing your back to the emperor. These are some certain rules to be followed. So Shivaji was briefed about these rules, the protocol to be followed, the court etiquette to be followed in the Mughal court. And Shivaji was made to stand along with his son at a far away distance. And this was the emperor's birthday. Aurangzeb's birthday celebrations were going on. The entire city of Agra was decorated. You have people from all over India, various Mansabdars, various officers, kings who have come to pay their respects to the emperor, greet him on his birthday, and give presents to the emperor. And Shivaji was also one among them. And Aurangzeb was sitting on the throne and ignoring Shivaji, treating Shivaji as a petty bhumiya, petty zamindar, or landlord. And then Shivaji noticed some Mansabdars whom he had defeated when they were sent to the south. And they were standing much ahead of him. And they got very, very angry because he expected Aurangzeb to treat him with respect as an equal, because he was an independent ruler of the Marathas. He was not a zamindar. And here Aurangzeb was treating Shivaji like a zamindar, and he could not take this insult. So in an open court, he began to shout and howl. And he told that I am an independent king. I should be treated equally. And thousands of people come and give nazar to me, gifts to me, and you're ill-treating me, or you're insulting me. So he turned his back and he began to walk away. All the while, Ram Singh was pleading before Shivaji not to speak loudly, not to break the decorum of the court. But Shivaji got very angry with Ram Singh also, Jai Singh's son, and he began to walk away, showing his back to the emperor. And everybody was shocked and surprised. Aurangzeb ordered the arrest of Shivaji. And Shivaji immediately was arrested along with his son Shambhaji and put in the Agra fort, Agra jail. So when this news reached Jai Singh, he was helpless. He did not know what to do. And the Marathas gave up hope. They said, this is the end of Shivaji. Shivaji is going to be killed by Aurangzeb, because Aurangzeb has got him arrested and he's put him in the Agra jail. Are you there with me? So this is, okay, you have a webinar. Okay, fine. I'll stop here. So you have a webinar. I'll stop here. I'll continue the story of Shivaji tomorrow. So tomorrow I'll finish with Marathas, Aurangzeb, Mughals, Suri dynasty, and then I'll start with Vijayanagar. So I'll require about tomorrow, maximum half of day after tomorrow to start end medieval India, and only day after tomorrow in the second session I can start with art and culture. Okay, so let us continue the story of Shivaji tomorrow, and then I'll talk about the rise of the Peshwas, etc. briefly, and then we'll finish Mughal Empire, finish Marathas simultaneously, do Suri dynasty, and then we will do Vijayanagara and other regional kingdoms. Okay, so thank you very much. You complete the story, Amanpreet. I don't have the time to complete the story. Tomorrow we will continue. Others, there are others waiting to have dinner and attend the webinar. Okay, so this is a suspense, Amanpreet. This is suspense till tomorrow. Okay, carry on. Good night. I am logging out. Hans is gold coins. Gold coins. Bhimare, Hans is gold coins. Okay, okay. That's your privilege, Sudhanshu. You can have dinner after 10:30, but then there are others waiting. You'll have about 2 hours of webinar, I suppose. So I need to give at least 10 minutes break. Carry on. I'm logging out. Thank you very much.